what do you got?
I think I can prove to a judge that both of these men had the mens rea.
What the hell is a mens rea?
It's a legal term the lawyers use. It just means the intention to commit a crime.
Okay, come on, let's go.
Mens rea?
Put the cuffs on him.
How could we have gotten mens rea? We take blood? Can you do it without taking blood? We both use condoms. How is this possible? I want to see a doctor. Can I have an independent blood test?
Money!
I feel sick.
What are you doing?
Mens rea! Oh! Oh! My God! No!
Hey, everybody. You know what time it is. It's that time of the week.
OJ Simpson kills those two people so hard, they stop making the Ford Bronco.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whoever you're doing it with, and however good it feels. I'm glad you're here with me. It's Thursday. It is OJ Simpson Day here on Legal Vices. This is where we go back and we take a look at the OJ Simpson case, not to change your mind. If it happens, it happens one way or the other. But the purpose for this, as I've said from the beginning, we're on part 30 today, by the way. We've been doing this for 30 weeks now. But yeah, the reason we're doing this is because too often we see mediocre or bad defense lawyers or prosecutors handling cases. The defense lawyers in this case were among the best you will ever see in your life. F. Lee Bailey, BARRY SCHECK. Again, we're watching this cross-examination of Dennis Fung. We're on part 15 of that, I believe, 14 or 15. So we're getting close to the midway mark of his testimony. But the cross-examination, as I've said so many times before, by BARRY SCHECK of Dennis Fung has been hailed as one of the greatest cross-examinations in legal history. So that's why we're watching it. So you can see masters of their craft doing what they do at a masterful level. And just looking through here, our co-host, Chandler Remington, is AWOL. She's missing in action. Haven't heard from her. Hopefully she'll be here soon. She might just be sleeping in a little bit. She might be busy. I don't know. And speak of the devil, just when I say she's missing in action, she shows up.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Well, good evening to you.
Look at you. You're all made up.
Yes. Well, I had an extra hour, so.
Wow. Well,
lovely.
My Dragon's Treasure tea is boiling over here. All right.
I drank all my Dragon's Treasure tea. I have to order more.
Well, what we're doing today, we got to do the cocktail of the day here first. I'm gonna bump you out for just a quick second, for just 1 minute while we do the cocktail. Our 1 minute cocktail. That's a new thing we're doing. We're gonna do like a drink of the day. So let me just bump you out real quick here. Okay, today's drink of the day. The drink of the day is what I've been talking about before. It is the orange creamsicle. It tastes just like those orange and vanilla creamsicles that you would have on a nice hot summer day when you were a kid. In here, well, this is a double. If it's worth doing once, it's worth doubling as well. This has 2 ounces of vodka, 2 ounces of Cointreau. And yes, I pronounce it Cointreau. I don't pronounce it like the French do because nobody else does. 2 ounces of orange juice, 2 ounces of heavy cream, and a half teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then you just add some ice to a shaker. You shake it up, make it nice and foamy and frothy, and then strain it into your cocktail glass. This is my official Johnny Depp Mega Pint Legal Vices Pimp Cup that we've got it in. And it tastes amazing. This is one of my favorite summer cocktails. Just like an alcoholic orange creamsicle. There you go. And with that, let's bring Chandler back in. Hi.
Hi. I muted myself.
Delicious.
That sounds really good. I'm kind of jealous. I want one.
They taste just like those orange creamsicles they used to eat as a kid. Which those
are delicious.
I just stopped eating them as a kid because I moved here and they don't have them here. They have their own little orangey things, but nothing tastes like those orange creamsicles.
No, they're kind of perfect.
Now I got to organize the stash here so it doesn't get in the way of my delightful drinking. How are you doing this morning, Chandler?
I'm good. How are you, Jeff?
I'm doing wonderful. Did you enjoy the extra hour sleep?
I did, yeah. I got to be a little lazy this morning, so that was nice.
I could have used another hour of doing the other stuff because I'll have to still do stuff for an hour before I get this out of the way. But here we are. I couldn't decide whether to start late and get everything ready and start late, or just start and talk through while I'm doing it. So now would be a perfect chance for you to talk at great length about your YouTube channel and your Twitter channel. Emphasis on at great length.
At great length, sure. Well, what can I say about my YouTube channel and my Twitter? Well, I'm sure that you all know me by now, but if any of you are joining us for the first time, I'm Chandler Remington. I'm a paralegal from Los Angeles, California, and I recently started a YouTube channel, and I have one video up. I am planning on getting some more videos up soon.
You've never said that before.
Yeah, I've been kind of inundated with LSAT study, and I want to make sure that if I put out content that it's really good quality. So I'm working on something.
Right now, LSAT test preparation should take precedence over this.
It does. It definitely does, and I'm trying to focus really hard on that. But yeah, no, I'm really excited to be on YouTube, and I'm really surprised at how many subscribers I've gotten in such a short amount of time. You all have been wonderful, and I'm at 830 something subscribers, which is kind of amazing considering, that I'm just getting started. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm an advocate for male victims of domestic violence. I like to talk about issues between the sexes, namely that we focus a little bit too much on misogyny and not very much on misandry, and that misandry is as harmful in society, and I think we need to talk about it more. And so I am going to be putting out a new video talking about statistics with male domestic violence victims. Look forward to that coming up within the week. And that's also what I do on Twitter. That's my platform. Yes, I do.
Promise?
I do. I promise.
Okay.
Well, I can't let down my loyal fans. So.
All right. Well, we have got everything ready to go. Mercifully, we finished the video last week at the end of one of Court TV's videos, so I didn't have to search and find my place in
that's always good. Yeah.
So that's good. Chandler is only 170-ish subs away from 1,000.
Yeah, I think so.
But then she's got to get monetized. She's got to get 4,000 watch hours.
Yeah, so I'm actually thinking I might try streaming because as any YouTube content creator knows, producing a video takes editing and it takes multiple takes and things like that, and I'm still learning how to do all of that. So streaming might be a little bit easier, and I would love to put together a cool stream with a fun topic that maybe is a little off the subject of my my typical typical video.
Well, Doggo Cam is up there. It's griftathon time. As long as we're doing some grifting, what we're gonna, as soon as I finish my cocktail, we are gonna be taking on some candy cane tea from the Dragon's Treasure. That'll be tonight's tea. This is amazing. It's black tea with candy cane pieces, flavorings, and peppermint. Just like Christmas in a cup. I love mint. I'm a huge mint fiend. Just anything with mint. I love mint. And so
I love mint too.
Mint teas.
Especially mint tea, but I've never had mint tea with black tea. It's usually with green tea, like Moroccan mint tea. So that sounds really good. I would definitely try that.
Oh, it is. It is so good. And you can get that at thedragonstreasure.com. Go to thedragonstreasure.com and you can get all kinds of tea. Every month he has 60 different teas to choose from. He hand blends every single one of them, hand packages every single one of them, and sends them out to all of you people. Thedragonstreasure.com is amazing, amazing tea. It's the only tea I drink anymore. And if you go there to thedragonstreasure.com and use code VICES, you get 10% off your order, which is a win-win-win. He gets a sale, win. You get 10% off, win. I get a 5% kickback that I can apply towards more tea. So it's wins all the way around.
Everybody wins.
thedragonstreasure.com. And Pudding Way said it best. His tea is really good.
It is really
Yes,
good.
it is.
I had like, I think I went through at least 3 different teas from the sampler every single day. I got like the green tea sampler and I really loved it. It's kind of hard to choose a
And
favorite.
Pastor Flash says, I'm happy to see this tape is still there.
It is still there. Yes.
It is. It's never going to leave. It's just part
No.
it's part of the show now.
Well, you guys
Hey,
all
Flux,
seem to like
good
it.
morning.
So, good morning, Flux.
All right, folks. And to start this out, Jonathan Smith, welcome to the Clean and Sober crew. You are our newest member. And Swan Lake Lady gifted one Legal Vices membership. Who was the lucky person that got the Legal Vices membership from Swan Lake Lady? If you did it, I hope you said thank you, because that was Tammy. Tammy got the gifted membership from Swan Lake Lady. I hope you said thank you, Tammy. And at some point during this weekend, we will do a members stream. I'm just not sure when yet. I'll post it up, and you should get the announcement. There we go. That brings us up to speed. I believe we've got everything out of the way. Jody, I hope you're watching. Jody, right at the beginning, like an hour before we started, said, I love this case for years. We'll have to go back and watch from when you first started. As gutted, I've missed this from the start. You should be gutted that you missed this from the start. It's an amazing show. And we have a great co-host here for the the fourth or fifth official week as co-host, but much longer than that.
How long has it been? I'm actually not
It's
sure.
been a while.
Well, it's okay, Jody.
Official status, yeah.
I missed the beginning too, so we're in a similar camp in that regard. But that's what all the playback is for. Just go back and watch the older videos.
It's a mystery. Says, dang, it's 9 a.m. I'm about to wash a husky. I really hope you actually have a dog that you're going to give a bath to, and that's just now some weird morning euphemism. But anyway.
It does kind of sound like everybody. A euphemism, yeah.
It's 9 a.m. Time to wash that husky. All right, so we are here. We're going to be doing the cross-examination of Dennis Fung. We're going to be continuing that, and there's no better time than the present to start that. We've got the like and subscribe poll. Again, we're doing the YouTube subscriber, unsubscriber dance. We were very positive today. Now we're back down to where we were as always. I'm trying to bring up the numbers because I just stopped checking because it's too weird. Right now we are sitting at right where we've been every day for the last several days, 35,976 subscribers. We get right up to the 36 mark again, then they chop off 25 more, as always. It's just been happening for an entire month now. We need to break the cycle somehow. So everybody, if you haven't subscribed, please do. But 161 of you here, I'm sure you're all diehard people that have already subscribed. So just make sure you're still subscribed. Just double check, just glance down there and make sure you're still subscribed. And then take a look over here at the like and subscribe poll. I do what I can. I know you subscribed and liked this stream. Why? It's funging fantastic. Fung me, but this is great. It's just so darn much fung, and it grows on you like a fungus. So there we go. Those are your choices this week. Sorry, I don't have any better choices than that, but that's what you got to work with. I didn't sleep ban anyone. I was taking a shower and I had it there, and there was some water that dripped from my hand while I was doing something, and then it was up against a towel, I believe it was, or something, and it was registering it as pressure, and I was just kind of serial banning. Well, it wasn't banning people; it was timing people out thing and deleting messages. But yeah,
only you.
There we go. That's it. Anything else to address or take care of before we jump straight into this?
Nothing that I can think of in particular.
All right. Well, we do have one super chat from I Wish I Was Drunk. I Wish I Was Drunk. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thanks you for the 2 EURs. How are we, lads and lasses? We are doing great. We're doing absolutely amazing. Thank you for being the very first super chat of the evening. That means we are just $98 away from dog cam.
Beautiful.
And if you clear that dog cam hurdle right now, you can watch Yoda licking Strawberry's armpit or leg pit, whatever.
Delightful.
That's kind of what's going on behind me. I just look back and it's they're just going to town on her armpit.
I mean, your dogs are incredibly cute. So even though normally I wouldn't want to watch anybody licking anybody else's armpit, I would say with Strawberry and Yoda, I would make an exception.
Anyway, let's bring this up. Present screen. Boop. Here we are. We are starting the next phase of the Dennis Fung cross-examination by Barry Scheck. And oh, no worries, Alan. What did Alan do now? Alan, what have you done? Oh, thanks for the super chat. Okay. Yes, and thank you, Alan, for thanking him for the super chat.
You had a comment?
Oh, that's loud.
The court's order that we were not allowed to discuss the videotape of Mr. Fung
Wow.
is no longer in effect.
That's correct. He's seen the videotape and been cross-examined on it. We moved on.
One thing about that, it was more than that. We found the order, what that shows you. It wasn't they couldn't, you said they could not discuss the testimony. It wasn't this the videotape. And so that was wrong. It was, you said not discuss this matters. I
All
understand.
right, counsel, we're taking a break at this point. How about if we do that?
I couldn't
How
even,
if we take a break at this point?
okay, that's fine.
But I think
Put out the
at this
record.
point, I think that's a no harm, no foul, because I think you got what you needed there.
We saw the record, so I just want to point out,
Yeah.
the court's usually
No, I appreciate that.
very accurate regarding that. I'm sure you want me to do that.
Thank you, sir.
It also said not to mention phenol tests, right? Positive phenol tests.
Hey, Jody, you're here. That's great.
I was addressing that issue, not bringing up something.
Well, I'm addressing the court, Mr. Carpenter.
Yes, we've just. I haven't read the book. I've read all the other books because I don't want to read his because I don't want to give him.
On both sides
I don't want to give anybody any money.
that may not be apparent to you, but my patience is at its end today.
Uh-oh.
Thank you.
Oh no, they've angered
Uh-oh.
the judge.
Saucy Ito.
After having looked at these pages, does it refresh your recollection?
Oh, I've just got to say one thing here before we get going. Nicholas Starr Union Rep Labor Law says Valhalla is her, and Jeff is going to shadow ban him in 3, 2, 1. Yes, you're right. Valhalla is her. That's how he identifies. Valhalla uses her pronouns. You got that right, Nicholas.
Shower ban.
Ooh.
I like shower ban. It's a little different from shadow ban.
It is, but yeah,
Nicholas.
we'll definitely Valhalla awaits is her. Good to have you here, her.
Oh,
It's
Nicholas
my
is doing-
stream.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
Got that, Valhalla? Anyway, sorry. That's just a little 12-year-old, it's a little 12-hour-old discussion we've been having. Seems like it's been going for 12 years. But anyway, let's get back to funging around here.
That in your conversations with Ms. Mazzola,
Miss Mazzola is his assistant, his trainee, his rookie,
Sorry?
if you will.
Does it refresh his recollection first?
The one with the unflattering
of
pants
conversations with
in the
Ms.
video,
Mazzola?
right?
having looked at these pages, is your recollection in any way refreshed with respect to conversations you've had with Ms. Mazzola?
I don't recall having conversations about those particular topics.
All right. Are you
Don't know what
saying,
that
Mr. Fung, that in your conversations with Ms. Mazzola prior to coming in here to testify, she did not indicate to you that she was with you from the entire time?
Sustained.
Has Ms. Mazzola ever told you?
He's just going to keep asking questions until he gets
Asking what Ms. Mazzola said.
asked the right way.
It's hearsay.
Not for the truth of the matter asserted, for the fact that it was said to her.
Hearsay. Without any further foundation. Proceed.
Yeah, these questions
You
are
had
never asked for
conversations with Ms. Mazzola
the truth of the matter,
prior
are they?
to testifying here.
Not that
Yes.
I've noticed.
And
no.
in these conversations, you discussed what items of evidence were picked up and when.
That was touched on, yes.
And that's
So you
part of the
touched
way
Ms.
that you made
Mazzola.
those
That's your testimony.
corrections or those additions, I should say, on the evidence collection sheets.
Yes.
And in those conversations, did Ms. Mazzola indicate to you that she was with you from the entire time?
Finish the question.
That she was with you the entire time after you picked up the last item at Rockingham at about 5 o'clock until you departed for the next designation?
Overruled at this point.
We never discussed that, no.
In your conversations with Ms. Mazzola prior to coming here and testifying, did she indicate to you that she believed that you and that the two of you had left the Rockingham location a few minutes after 5?
First say, Your Honor.
Overruled. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm allowing these questions and answers for the limited purpose, not assuming that the answer, that the implication of the answer, excuse me, the question. Let me start again. I'm allowing.
Even Judge Ito doesn't know what he's doing at this point. He's getting a little bit testy, and now he's confusing himself, and he's telling the jury things that they're not even going to know what he's talking about.
Because it's Barry Scheck's courtroom at this point. It's not his courtroom anymore.
Oh, yeah.
He has lost control. This is like, he is not running the show.
Allowing this evidence for a limited purpose. That is whether or not this statement was made to Mr. Fung, not whether or not that statement is in fact true. Mr. Scheck.
May I put the last question to the witness?
You may.
Mr. Fung, in your conversations with Ms. Mazzola prior to your testimony, did she ever indicate to you that she recalled leaving Rockingham a few minutes after 5?
I don't recall having discussed that.
Did you ever see any document where Ms. Mazzola indicated that she thought the two of you had left Rockingham before 5:20?
If I can refer to my notes.
I'd like to have him ask the question, Mr. Fung, do you ever recall talking to anybody about anything ever?
I would ask, can you ever
I
give a
don't recall
straightforward
any
answer?
document, no.
And the notes you just looked at, Mr. Fung,
You're so dumb, you're giving me a contact
those
number.
were the crime scene checklist for Rockingham.
Yes.
And that's a document of 4 pages. Well, the first 4 pages are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
And on the 4th page of that document, there is a line that indicates time left scene.
Yes.
We'll get back to that in a minute. That's ordinarily where somebody writes down the time that they left the scene.
Yes.
And Ms. Mazzola was the one that was taking notes.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Fung, you've told us that the gray manila envelope with Mr. Simpson's blood sample was placed by you into a trash bag.
A plastic trash bag.
Is that correct?
That's what I remember.
Well, good for
All
you.
right.
Congratulations on
Where'd you get the trash
remembering.
You remember something. It's impressive.
I asked one of the detectives to find one for me, to find some type of bag that I could put the envelope in.
And this was when you returned into Mr. Simpson's house?
This was after receiving the envelope.
Well, when you went back inside to Mr. Simpson's house after putting the brown paper bags and the valise in the car, you didn't have a black plastic bag with you.
I had no idea that I would.
Did you have a black plastic bag with you?
No.
Did Ms. Mazzola have a black plastic bag with her?
No.
And so you're now saying you went back into the Rockingham location at that time.
Argument is phrased.
Sustain the phrase question.
I don't see that as being argumentative.
You went,
Neither do I.
as depicted on the videotape, back into Rockingham for one last look.
Yes.
You picked up those yellow evidence cards.
On the way back in, yes.
And then you got back inside to Rockingham.
Yes.
And was it that point that you asked some detective for a black plastic bag?
No.
You got inside to Rockingham, and that's when you saw Detective Van Adder in the foyer.
At some point after I went in, yes.
I want to live in a house
Detective
with
Van
a
Adder
foyer.
carrying a black duffel bag.
I don't recall if he was or not.
And was Detective Van Adder carrying a clipboard?
I don't recall if he was or not.
All you remember is that he had this gray manila envelope.
I do remember him giving it to me.
And you remember
Wow.
who was there when
Did he
this
give it to
gray
you
manila
good?
envelope was handed off?
I love the frustrated hand
I
gestures.
don't remember everybody who was there.
Well, since we last broke, you now have had an opportunity to talk with the prosecutors about the videotapes.
Okay, here's a random fact. Approximately 5 minutes ago, Jerry Springer died.
Oh.
16 minutes ago was the oldest news story there. Huh. All right.
Well,
See you,
happened?
Jerry. Now we can go shit stir in heaven. Cool. he's gonna go through the pearly gates there. He's gonna get up there. He's gonna look at God and you are the Father. That was good.
Okay, that's pretty good. But he's gonna go around and tell everybody, who had affairs with who, and he's gonna.
Yeah. He's gonna
My
spill the tea
condolences
in
to his
heaven.
family. That's all. Just
All right. Well, there we go.
oh god, I said the politically correct thing.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the thing I wanted to say.
All
Like they're
right.
all awaiting his arrival, cheering him on.
Huh. Well, there you go. Springer
I'm sure he'll
was a
have an
judge
audience.
too.
He'll have an audience wherever he goes. What?
Oh no, he was mayor. He was mayor of Cleveland, Cincinnati. He was the mayor of Cincinnati.
He was a judge. I mean, the idea of that man going to law school and it's just beyond me.
I believe he was a lawyer. I believe.
Really? Huh.
But yeah, he was mayor of Cincinnati, which
That's
explains
right.
a lot about Cincinnati. But it was only for
yeah.
like a year. So anyway, this isn't the Jerry Springer show. This is the OJ show. So I just wanted to. D, what? I know that's Mari, but it was in the chat and it was funny. Okay.
They did similar things.
Yeah, he did similar things. I guess you could go if you wanted to do Jerry stuff, you could say, okay, Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, they have their children and to populate humankind. The children have got to knock boots with each other. There's got to be that little family thing, and that was a Jerry Springer topic. It's like, oh, I slept with my sister because there was no one else on earth. On the next Jerry Springer.
I don't think I ever watched the Jerry Springer show. Maybe one time.
I wouldn't sleep with you if you were the first person on earth. Something like that. Anyway, let's get back into
Moving
OJ.
on.
All right, here we go. Oh,
Yes.
Nicola
And
let
have
the
they
power go
discussed
to her
anything
head.
with you about who else was there?
No.
Have they discussed with you anything about what Miss Mazzola may be testifying to?
No.
Was Miss Mazzola there?
I don't recall her being there when I accepted the envelope from Mr. or Detective Van Adder.
So it's you and Detective Van Adder.
I know that.
Who else? As you sit here today, you independently remember.
He probably doesn't independently remember his own name at this point.
I don't specifically remember anybody else, but I do know there were other people there.
Do you remember anything,
I
Mr.
He
Fung?
gave you the gray manila envelope,
I don't remember if I remember anything.
and then you looked in it.
Counsel, I think we broached this subject yesterday. Who was there?
Right.
When it was transferred?
Just
what he did.
foundational.
This is like the third time we're going through this.
I understand. After you looked in the envelope, was it then that you asked somebody to get a plastic bag?
I asked if somebody could find a bag of some sort so that I could place the envelope inside.
Who did you ask?
Nobody in particular. I just asked in general for somebody to find me something to put the bag or the envelope in.
Mac,
Do you
what? Did
remember
somebody not do that?
Who gave it to you?
It was one of the detectives.
Where did they give it to you?
I'm learning.
All right.
It was in the kitchen.
Where was Miss Mazzola?
I don't know.
Was she around?
I
Vague.
don't know.
And then you were given this plastic bag and you put the gray manila envelope in the plastic bag?
That's the best of my recollection, yes.
And when you
That
did
doesn't
that, where was Miss Mazzola?
I don't know.
And you walked out of the kitchen then?
I don't know what I did right after I put the
I don't know what I did.
envelope in the bag.
Me.
After you put the envelope in the bag, did there come a point soon after where you saw Miss Mazzola?
Eventually, I did see her, but I don't know when.
How many minutes?
I don't know.
More than 2 or 3?
I don't recall how many minutes.
Oh, he's getting check
from
face.
the time I put the
Something's going to
envelope in
happen.
the
He's got shit
bag
face.
to when I saw her next.
Did you see her next inside the Rockingham residence?
I can only tell from the video. I don't recall exactly when I saw her next.
Well, from the video, you know, you walked out the Rockingham residence with Miss Mazzola.
Yes,
And you, at some point, handed her this black plastic bag.
at some point, from the video, yes.
And when you handed her that black plastic bag, did you say to her, Miss Mazzola, here's a black plastic bag, and
Racist.
inside it is a gray manila envelope with Mr. Simpson's blood sample. Did you tell her that?
The foundation, personal knowledge.
Oh, I didn't tell her that, or I don't remember telling her that, or I don't remember saying anything like that.
Wait, which is it? Which is it? You can't give 3 answers to the same question.
I didn't tell her that, but I don't remember saying that, but I might have said it.
Wait, what was that? You can't give 3 different answers to the same question that quickly. Wait, what?
Simpson's blood sample. Did you tell her that?
The foundation, personal knowledge.
Oh, I didn't tell her that.
I didn't tell
Or
her that.
I don't remember telling
I
her
don't
that,
remember telling her that.
or I don't remember saying anything like that.
Or I don't remember saying anything like that. Which is it? Did you tell her? Do you not remember telling her? Do you remember not telling her anything like that?
Oh God, Marsha Clark has just given up. She's just like, my career is over.
She's like,
So
"Oh."
awful.
She's like, oh man, I can't wait till this is over so I can go smash Darden again.
Yeah, Darden is just like, oh God, this is terrible.
I wish I was drunk. Bringing in another €2. Thank you so much. Don't know what I know and forgot what I remembered. Thank you so much. Pushing us ever so slightly closer to Doggo Cam. We are now $95 away from Doggo Cam.
That sigh.
Big sigh from Fung and just Barry going, ugh.
What do I do with you? Look at him.
That was literally my reaction. It's like, what? What the? This was like that was the 1995 version of WTF Fung.
Basically.
Oh no. Congrats on getting married.
Oh, who got married?
We're doing Mac Turner.
Congratulations, that's so beautiful.
All right, let's get back to this. This is too good. I want to watch that again. I don't want to watch the long pause in the.
I know.
Fung.
The hand gestures get me every time.
The Italians and the Jews know how to talk with their hands.
Oh yeah.
Simpson's blood sample. Did you tell her that?
The foundation, personal knowledge.
Oh, I didn't tell her that, or I don't remember telling her that, or I don't remember saying anything like that. I just don't remember.
Well,
Which?
did you tell her, in substance, here's withdraw. At that time, didn't you have some concerns about carrying a manila envelope with a blood vial in it?
Like being
Yes.
careful with
You
it,
certainly
maybe?
wouldn't want to have that blood vial broken.
No, I wouldn't.
That's a piece of evidence that you want to carry with a great deal of care.
Yes.
And I think we're going to go down this. So a black plastic bag, garbage bag, isn't the best way to carry a blood vial, Mr. Fung. But I must confess, 1995. I believe it was either 1995 or very close there too. I had a suit exactly like this one.
Really?
A nice olive green cut, padded shoulders.
It is actually quite a handsome suit. I like the suit. It's probably the only thing I like about Dennis Fung. But
Okay, do you want to hear an even worse confession?
yes, of course I do. Is that even a question?
I still have it in my closet.
No way.
Yeah.
Is it tailored? Is it? Would you put
It
it
is.
on for the next
It is.
episode?
Next episode, heck, I can do it for this one.
Really?
But first, we've got the. Of course, I'm wearing my Beehive Cigars shirt. I don't know how well that goes with the suit coat, but MLS Law, welcome. What's up, brother? This is somebody you want to go to. You want to go to MLS Law Show. That's who we've been sending our raids to at the end of our stream. Go check him out. Subscribe, like all of his videos, and watch his streams. Prosecutors study this case as an example of what not to do. Defense attorneys study this case as an example of what you should do. And police officers also study this case to learn how not to testify. Right. And also, this cross-examination led to wide sweeping evidence collection policy changes across not only Los Angeles, but the entire United States. Up to this point, things were extremely lax, apparently, and Fung cut that off.
Yeah, he really did.
He cut it off just like a good moil. Anyway, sorry.
You're really getting into Barry Scheck mode, aren't you?
I am.
You're just like
Yeah,
you're putting yourself in the mind of Barry Scheck.
All right. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to this, and I shall return in a moment.
And if you're giving it to Miss Mazzola,
oh wait,
he's giving it to Miss Mazzola. Great deal of care.
No, that's news.
Yes.
Sorry.
And you're telling us when you handed her the blood vial in the manila envelope that's inside the plastic bag, you didn't say to her, Miss Mazzola, here's the blood vial, a blood sample from Mr. Simpson that I was just given by Detective Van Adder. Carry it carefully.
I don't remember saying that.
You just, to the best of your recollection, handed her a plastic bag with Mr. Simpson's blood sample in it and never told her what was in it.
Sustained.
Did you tell her what was in that black plastic bag when you handed it to her?
Oh, not as afraid.
Throwing it up from my
I
Asian
don't
brother.
recall if I did or not.
Oh
I
my
don't
god.
remember.
All right, let's
That
move
is
on.
the same suit.
Yeah,
That's
it
incredible.
And then the two of you walked out of Rockingham
I love
Yes.
it.
and you went into the crime scene truck.
Sort of smells
Yes.
a little mothball.
And when you went into the
It
crime
looks good.
between the time that you left and the time you got to the crime scene truck,
A handsome
did you
jacket.
tell Miss Mazzola what was in that black plastic bag?
I don't imagine you're wearing the pants.
I don't recall talking to her at all.
When you got inside the crime scene truck, where did you go and where did she go?
She eventually went to the passenger seat and I went into the driver's seat.
What did she do with the plastic bag that contained Mr. Simpson's blood sample?
I don't recall if she put it in, if I unlocked the back door for her and she put it in, or if we put it, or if she put it in the passenger compartment.
Well, when she was putting it somewhere in the truck, did you tell her, Miss Mazzola, what's in that plastic bag is Mr. Simpson's blood sample. Put it in a certain place. Be careful with it.
I don't recall saying that to her.
Do you recall?
Oh, Jason, thank you so much for the super chat. You're behind the ball. We've already talked about that and made jokes.
Tell Miss Mazzola what was in the plastic bag.
I don't know if this counts. Tell us what's in the bag. I don't know. What do you think? Does that count? Does that trigger it? I think that triggers it. He wants to know what's in the bag.
It does.
Put the gun down.
I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, David.
It seems that envy is my sin.
No, what's in the box?
Not till you give me the
What's
gun.
in the fucking box?
Give me the gun.
We're all thinking it.
Sustain.
I don't recall.
Wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't have to answer that question.
Proceed.
At some point, after you got back in the crime scene truck, the two of you drove back to SID.
So you all think the way I'm thinking. I like that.
And at that
I was
time,
thinking it before you
took
said it.
evidence out of the crime scene truck and you brought it into the evidence processing room.
Yes.
And at that time, did you and Ms. Mazzola conduct an inventory of all the items that you collected?
I know I did.
Was she there assisting?
She may have been.
And during that inventory, did you tell her inside that plastic bag is Mr. Simpson's blood vial in a manila envelope?
Please take care of it.
I don't recall talking to her about that item of evidence.
Okay, so like literally, we're joking around here and whatnot, but literally what he's saying is they took probably the single most important piece of evidence in this entire trial, the blood vial containing blood from Mr. Simpson, and just threw it in a black plastic bag. He tosses it off to his underling, his trainee, doesn't tell her that it contains the blood vial, and they just stuff it in the van or whatever they're going to do with it here. That's actually kind of frightening. That's a little scary. Yeah, but times have changed. All right, let's go.
All right, when you got back to the evidence processing room, you and Ms. Mazzola went through a process you told us of taking blood swatches out of coin envelopes and putting them into test tubes.
Yes.
At some point before you began that process, did you indicate to Ms. Mazzola that Mr. Simpson's blood sample was in a gray manila envelope and inside that plastic bag?
I don't recall talking to her about that sample on that day.
At some point when you got back to the evidence processing room, did either of you take the gray manila envelope out of the black plastic bag?
No, I just happen to have a suit that's exactly like Dennis Fung's. So I put
It was
it on.
kept in the black plastic bag.
It's impressively similar.
During that night, yes.
Where did you put it?
I put all the evidence on one of the tables in the evidence processing room.
You put Mr. Simpson's blood sample, which was in a gray manila envelope, inside the plastic bag on top of the table in the evidence processing room.
That's where I put all the evidence that day.
And you left it there.
Yes.
And you didn't put it in any refrigerator.
No, I didn't.
Did you tell anybody in the laboratory that you would come back with Mr. Simpson's blood vial in that gray manila envelope in that black plastic bag?
No.
Did you was Greg Matheson in the laboratory when you returned?
I don't recall seeing him.
There's a stockroom refrigerator outside the door of the evidence processing room.
Yes, there is.
You didn't even take Mr. Simpson's blood sample and put it in the stockroom refrigerator?
I wouldn't do that, no.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
Well, let's
What
show
an
the
answer.
video of you doing that, or whatever's coming next.
And it's your testimony that you never, to the best of your recollection, told Miss Mazzola what was inside that black plastic bag.
Not on that day, no. To the best of my recollection, I don't recall talking to her about that item of evidence on that day.
It just wasn't that important, apparently.
Yeah.
When you came back to the evidence processing room on the morning of June 14th, did you see the black plastic bag containing Mr. Simpson's blood sample in it?
I don't specifically remember it, but
Of course not.
the items of evidence were all accounted for.
So when you entered the evidence processing room, that the gray manila envelope was still inside the black plastic bag.
I did not observe or detect any of my evidence from the night before having been disturbed.
I didn't detect any of my evidence from the night before having been disturbed.
What a weird sentence.
Right?
So if it was put back in the same exact place, which first of all, he left a blood sample just overnight in a room temperature room.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wouldn't have done that. He wouldn't have put it in the refrigerator. I don't know why he wouldn't have refrigerated it. It seems like that would have been protocol. But apparently he wouldn't have done that.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And he didn't detect it having moved, but he didn't specifically look for it.
Yeah,
Or
well, that's what I was going to say. What are the chances he went, I wonder if my evidence has been tampered with. Let me check.
he just
No.
left it out on the table. I mean, the ineptitude. Is it just me? Is that normal? Should that be normal?
Flux going wild. Fuck the rules.
Yeah.
Well, when you entered the evidence processing room, was there anybody with you?
I don't recall.
Was Miss Mazzola with you?
I don't recall.
And I
You
take it
recall
that you,
recalling?
alone with
I don't know if he recalls
nobody
recalling.
around, removed the gray manila envelope from the black plastic bag.
I don't recall if anybody was with me or not. I don't remember.
Mr. Fung, none of this ever happened in terms of putting that gray manila envelope in that plastic bag. Isn't that right?
That's incorrect.
That's something that you made up when the judge asked you the question this morning, what's in that black plastic bag?
No.
That's why you have now recounted that you never told Miss Mazzola once on the afternoon what was in that black plastic bag.
That's not what I said.
That's why you're now telling us when you went back into the evidence processing room the next morning, no one else was there to see you remove this blood sample from the black plastic bag.
Sustain or phrase the question.
You don't remember anybody being there when you removed the blood sample from the black plastic bag.
Overruled.
I don't recall if anybody was there with me or not.
Honor, I'd like to now mark
This isn't looking so good for him.
by whatever means the court
Really?
would like. I would like to show the original copies of the crime scene investigation checklist.
Original copies?
Yes, the originals. Thank you. The documents that have been brought to us that purport to be originals of the crime scene investigation checklist
The
for
4
Rockingham.
pages, the 4-page sheet.
It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 pages that are numbered, a 5th page designated field notes, and on the back of the 5th page, there is writing. A 6th page designated field notes that's blank, and in the back page of that is a diagram. A 7th page that is the evidence collection checklist. And on the back of that, there is another diagram. And what did I say? This is the 7th page, which is a second evidence collection checklist. That's is that 8 altogether?
Pages. 8 pages.
8 pages.
All right, those pages will be 1107.
I'm sorry, I thought we were going to introduce any of the originals so that we can maintain custody of our originals pursuant to a prior agreement.
If there's a reason to use the originals, I'll allow their use. However, there'll be substitutions for the record later. Proceed.
Now, earlier, Mr. Fung, you were shown a copy of this page by the prosecution.
And you couldn't remember
And
anything,
it was
correct?
introduced into evidence on your direct examination.
Yes.
All right.
Well, he can't remember whether
And-
he remembers or not.
This piece of paper contains handwriting of Andrea Mazzola,
Yes.
where she lists various items.
Yes.
And when you say this page, which page are we talking about?
It's the page and back of the field notes.
First page of field notes?
All right.
All right.
I'll give you a number in terms of the actual page. It is the 5th page, and it's the back of the 5th page, and I'd like to put this on the
Excuse me.
Now, in this document,
Nice. Tic tac toe. It's like kids like check the inside of the inside band of his underwear to check
this
his name.
document, you can read along if it helps with your copy if you want, refers to item 17, 1 pair tennis shoes Reebok received in serology by D. Fung from Detective Lang, correct?
Oh, the shoes.
Yes.
And up in the upper right-hand corner, just where D. Fung
The shoes that may have been left in Detective Van Adder's house all night long. The same night that the blood vial was just left sitting on a table in the evidence room. Dun, dun, dun.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Waifu Cron 999. You're on an iPhone. Doggo Cam for the Doggo Cam Jess. Thank you so much. You are absolutely awesomely amazing. Everybody, Waifu Cron is the best. You got to make sure you go over to her channel and like her as well and subscribe and enjoy her awesome things. One of these days, I'll get a special invite to be one of her guests. That's my goal in life. That's a bucket list item. I got a pity invitation last weekend. I had to beg my way on the stream. But one of these days, I'll get my own stream. One of these days. And also, lest we forget, LC Merritt, after this trial, Crime labs all over adopted standards for better and proper evidence documentation, collection, and storage preservation. They call this harmonizing standard feng shui.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that was good.
Mostly said that in trials like these, even if they weren't as highly televised, they wouldn't look like idiots when they had their special forensic analysts come to the stand to testify. This was disastrous. I mean, nobody wants their department to look this idiotic. It was really a bad look for LAPD.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it seriously was. And this is what prompted law enforcement agencies around the country to go, I think we better clean it up before we get nailed like this.
I mean, LAPD, it's not like they were hurting for scandals. They've had many since. There were many before, but this one was pretty bad.
Yeah, see, Valhalla, he got us. Well, I got the invite. In fairness, I did get the invite to go on our stream last night with Valhalla and Sell You Light podcast, William.
Oh, I remember that guy.
But I was asleep.
No.
Because it was the middle of my night. All righty. Let's get back. And I'm going to go take this off. This needs to be dry cleaned before it's ever worn again.
It is great, though. I'm glad you busted it out just for the sheer novelty factor.
Yeah, see, we're like, it's us.
It's very 90s. Love the shoulder pads.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's got some padding here. And it looks like it's brand freaking new. That tells you how often I wear suits. This thing is almost 30 years old, and it looks like it just got made yesterday.
Well, hey, it still fits. That's what counts.
It's a little tight, but well,
I think
that just means I got really skinny, then I got fat again. That's all that means.
It happens to the best of us, Jeff, really.
Except for you.
There's a date, 6/14/94.
That's correct.
And below that is written item 18, blood sample in tube from Simpson.
That's correct.
And item 19 is hair from item number 9.
Yes.
And that is, item number 9 is the Rockingham glove.
Yes.
And the hair that's being referred to is a hair that you removed on the morning of June 14th.
Yes.
And the sneakers are sneakers that you received in the morning on June 14th.
Yes.
And it's your testimony that the blood sample from Mr. Simpson you did not receive after the sneakers on the morning of June 14th.
I received the sneakers on June 13th at 5:20.
And on direct examination, you mentioned that you saw this document when you came back to the laboratory on June 14th.
The laboratory.
At some point, when I was writing my property report, I saw this document.
I'm sorry, did you misspeak and say that you got the 13th, the sneakers on the 13th?
I believe I
You got the sneakers on the 14th.
I got the sneakers on the 14th. I got the blood on the 13th.
Now, you might have seen this document then, not on June 14th, but June 15th. You said you saw it around the time you were writing up your property report.
Possibly.
So you're not sure whether it's the 14th or the 15th that you saw this document?
It was when I was writing my property reports. I could check. It was on the 14th.
So on the 14th, you saw this document.
It's a very nice suit you've got there, Mr. Fung. And I would like someone to explain where my cocktail glass went.
Yes.
And
strawberry,
you
Yoda.
looked at it. You decided that you didn't like the order in which Ms. Mazzola had put down the receipt of these items?
When I was writing my property report, I wanted to save on paperwork, so I changed the order of the item numbers that she had written down.
Well, that's perfectly reasonable.
This is page 8, the document report. In your evidence collection sheet,
Nobody likes
you
paperwork.
told us
Relatable.
that you went back and you changed what had been, what Ms. Mazzola had written as 17 under sample item, correct? Top of that page is there's a reference to the item received by you from Detective Lang, the sneakers.
Yes, the very top line?
Yes.
Yes.
And Ms. Mazzola had written 17 there.
At one point in time, yes, there was a 17 there.
And you changed that to an 8.
Looks like a library book
And then
checkout card
below
in
that
elementary school.
Indicated 17 for the blood sample.
It does.
Yes.
And on
Very old
direct
school.
examination, you said you did that on June 15th.
It states testimony.
When did you do it?
Yeah. Mr. Fung, have you seen my cocktail glass?
It was either the 14th or the 15th. I don't recall.
And on the morning of June 14th, you gave
There's more where that
Colin
came from.
Yamaguchi Mr. Simpson's blood vial.
On the morning of
the 14th.
14th.
The record should reflect the witness's refreshing his recollection.
Yep.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
May I stand intimidatingly close to the witness while he cowers in fear?
Okay, that was good. We do need to talk about, we need to address what Jack Matt has just discussed here. The chain of custody should have been recorded with all these questions. Fung dropped the ball. If you go back and read this, you will see that they just picked up the evidence and shoved them in bags. They didn't write down who collected the evidence, what time the evidence was collected. They didn't number it according to the sequence in which they collected the evidence. What they did is they numbered it. They took a picture of the evidence and they numbered the photograph, and then they numbered that piece of evidence according to the photograph number. And then they, if they determined the evidence was important at some point, if he and his underling had determined that the evidence was important, they would go back and try to remember who collected the evidence, and they would write that in on the evidence collection form. When it was collected, and they would write that. What order it was collected in, they would write that in. According to memory, months and months and months after it was collected.
Right. So like
That's
no
how bad
contemporaneous recording.
Yeah, and that's what we got into. There was a lot of testimony about that last time we did this last week, where the numbers for the shoes was before the blood vial, but yet the evidence number, the blood vial was before the shoes. So there was that conflict between the evidence numbers.
They were just making it all up as they went along, basically. I mean,
they were just throwing shit in a pile and then just kind of sorting it out later.
who trained these people? I mean, what
Nobody.
protocol was there? Apparently, there was a handbook. I don't think anybody ever read it. I think
Oh,
Scheck
Fung
produced
didn't read it.
He certainly did not read it. No, I don't know if anybody read it.
That was day one of Fung's testimony, was when Scheck was asking him about the manual, and he said he didn't know about the existence of a manual.
Right,
And-
I remember.
And Scheck said, well, what about this first page of the manual that says you're supposed to have this in your evidence collection van at all times? And he went, That was his intelligent answer. So yeah, he didn't even know this thing existed, and he certainly didn't know he was supposed to have read it and kept it on in the van at all times. Mm-hmm. Well,
I'm pretty sure they kept the blood vials next to the tuna sandwich that his mom packed for lunch. It's just like it's absolutely no procedure whatsoever being followed. Oh, LAPD, not a good look.
Fung forgot to put a cover sheet on his TPS report. He probably didn't get the memo.
Did you get that memo?
Nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about.
But as long as you're
Back
thinking
your
about stuff
flip-flop.
like that, imagine Dennis Fung's O face.
No.
Oh. Anyway, let's go. Back to trial. I broke Chandler.
Oh my god.
Sheck clearly meant the manual of Dianetics. It was LA in the 90s, so there's a very good possibility. It may
To the
have been
best of my
Dianetics.
recollection, that's when I was on the 14th that I
It smells so good.
released
I was
custody
supposed
to
to
him.
have tea instead of alcohol. Oh well, next time.
And he poured off some blood and gave it back to you.
I found the personal knowledge.
Abstain.
Did Mr. Yamauchi then return the blood vial to you on the morning of the 14th?
After I gave it to him, he did return it to me, yes.
Did you actually see him taking blood out of the blood vial on the morning of the 14th?
I don't recall seeing him doing that.
Now, on direct examination, you were asked whether or not you recalled what item number you told Colin Yamauchi the blood vial was.
I don't recall that testimony.
Well, do you recall that you were asked that question and you said you didn't remember which item number you told Colin Yamauchi the blood vial was on the morning of June 14th?
I don't recall what my testimony was.
Do you recall whether or not you told?
Of course, you don't remember what your testimony was. Why would you remember what you testified to just a few days ago? Why would you remember this? Oh my God. Job Dunwell says, I don't know. Jeff's goth girlfriend was pretty intimidating. What on earth are you talking about?
Who?
What?
I must have missed that.
Me too. I'm not sure what my goth. Who's my goth girlfriend?
I don't know. I watch almost all of your streams, but I didn't see that.
No, I've dated a few girls that could be considered goth, but I don't think I've ever talked about any of them. Anyway, weird.
She was intimidating, apparently.
Perhaps you're talking about this person from the. Oh wait, this is on a hang on, totally different platform. Hang on, I've got to get it off of the Chrome and put it on the Binger. There we go. I love Branka's comment on this video. Her vote counts the same as mine. Are you talking about this goth woman perchance? Wait, where are we? Are you talking about this goth girl perchance? And I don't know why I'm doing this, but I am. Where are we? Entire screen.
Well, I've got to see this.
Oh no. No, silly. Oh no.
Nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I like Branka's comment. Her vote counts the same as mine.
Wow. I'm hoping that's a filter for at least some of it.
I don't think it
not
was.
I'm not sure if it is. Is it the contact lenses or the tattoos that are more terrifying? I can't tell.
Oh, I think those are tattooed eyes.
Oh God.
I think she had her eyeballs tattooed.
Yikes. That is pretty scary. But her vote counts the same as Branka's. So.
And she's just got like that shitty flash tattoo all over her, just like flash butterflies all over her. Weird.
Yeah. Intimidating, I would say just, just nightmare fuel.
No,
basically.
she'd be sad. I'd be like, oh, you poor dear. Anyway, all right, let's get rocking.
Number you had designated the blood vial on June 14th.
Right, Mac.
I told, or
Hey, Kaiser. Everybody go to Kaiser's channel too and
records
subscribe to him.
that I have come in contact with, I told him it was 18.
When did you first learn that Mr.
By front
Yamauchi had
pants match,
recorded
I
the blood
guess.
vial as being item 18, not 17?
Okay, this is what they're talking about. This is what I was talking about. The numbering for the blood vial and the sneakers are out of sequence. This is what he's talking about here.
I told him it was 18.
When did you first learn that Mr. Yamauchi had recorded the blood vial as being item 18, not 17?
When did I first learn this?
Yes.
After I had written my property reports, I went to tell him that I had changed the item numbers, and that's when I found out that he had written the report and put down the item number as 18.
And was this a cause for concern that Mr. Yamauchi had written down number 18 for the blood vial and not number 17?
Of course not.
Sustained.
Was this a cause of concern for you that Mr. Yamauchi had actually written down number 18 as the blood vial, not 17?
As a matter of keeping things clean, as far as having to write follow-up reports, yes, it was a concern to me.
Well, you said it was a matter of keeping things clean.
Paperwork-wise, yes.
Not evidence-wise. No, I'm not talking about keeping the evidence clean. I'm talking about keeping the paperwork clean. Don't confuse what I'm saying, Mr. Scheck. I'm not saying we have to preserve the integrity of the evidence. I'm just saying we need to keep the paperwork clean.
Yeah, I don't think LAPD and clean belong in the same sentence in this case. They're so dirty.
I love that answer, though. Oh, my God.
It's a good one.
It's keeping the evidence clean. I mean, no, not the paperwork. I mean, not the evidence. We don't want to keep the evidence clean. Just the paperwork. That's what I'm talking about.
Ooh, he's saying a lot of things.
Weren't you very concerned that if the record showed the blood vial being received after the sneakers, that might reveal that the blood vial was actually received on the morning of June 14th, not on the afternoon of June 13th?
Dun, dun, dun.
That was not a concern, no.
Never entered your mind?
I was more concerned about having to write up a follow-up report.
So that thought never entered your mind?
No.
Never a concern that anybody might look at this mislabeling and think that the blood vial had not been transferred to you on the afternoon of the 13th, but actually had been turned over on the morning of the 14th?
Objection to the word mislabeled is instead contested.
Sustained.
No concern on your part that the fact that Mr. Yamauchi had labeled it 18, not 17, might lead someone to question whether or not you had actually received the blood vial on the afternoon of the 13th as opposed to the morning of the 14th?
That did not occur to me.
Nothing ever occurs to me. I'm paid not to have things occur to me.
At some time after June 15th, did anybody ever question you about how the blood vial had been labeled 18 in Mr. Yamauchi's reports, but you put it in your property report as 17.
In testimony, yes.
It arose for the first time in testimony?
What arose? That's weird.
Being questioned about it, yes.
No one in the laboratory ever came to you and asked you how something like this could happen, that Mr. Yamauchi had recorded the blood vial as 18, but in your property report you said it was 17?
I told Mr. Matheson about it. I told Colin that I had done it. The changing of
Colin is who?
Mr. Yamauchi, I'm sorry. I told Mr. Yamauchi that I had changed the item number. I'd flipped them around. And that was the conversations that I had.
And that conversation happened around when?
Shortly after I had written the property reports and was going to tell him that I had changed the item numbers.
And that
But
was
you were
in June.
going to tell him, okay.
Yes.
Did anybody come to you
That's a
in
personal
July
question. Oh.
and question you about the fact that the blood vial had been labeled 18 in Mr. Yamauchi's records, but 17 in your property report?
No.
No conversation about that at all in July?
None that I can recall.
No concern in your part in July?
Yeah, well, none that I can recall, and none are very different in Dennis Fung's world. He doesn't have a great track record in recalling things.
Not really. No, I would not say that he has an excellent memory. Not very reliable. Oof.
Fung has been on the stand for more hours than he worked on the case. Probably 8 hours a day for 8.5 days. We'll give him 70 hours on the stand.
Lie about the fact that there had been this confusion, as you put it, between 17 and 18.
It wasn't confusing to me.
All right.
Of course it wasn't.
No concern. Did anything in the month of July cause you to go back over your crime scene checklist records and make changes?
I may have gone in and added some information that I had remembered and added things that I recalled into the crime scene checklist.
Oh, but nothing concerning this question of 17 and 18.
No.
Now, you know Mr. Yamauchi. You know Mr. Yamauchi, right?
Yes, I do.
Nice save.
That was very smooth.
Now, you know, Mr. Fung, that questions have been raised about whether or not all the blood in Mr. Simpson's blood sample can be accounted for.
Sustain the first question.
All right. Are you aware that the defense has raised questions about whether or not all the blood in Mr. Simpson's blood sample can be accounted for?
Overruled.
I am aware of that.
And before the defense raised these questions at this trial, did anyone in the laboratory ever ask you any questions about whether or not there had been any tampering with Mr. Simpson's blood vial?
I don't recall anybody asking me if it was tampered with, no.
Well, were there any questions asked of you about that subject by Ms. Kessler?
I don't recall her asking me
Mr.
that.
Matheson?
I don't recall him asking me that.
Was there were you ever asked any questions by an investigator from the district attorney's office about possible tampering with Mr. Simpson's blood vial?
No.
Now, didn't you go back and look at these records in July to see whether or not you had adequately covered your tracks about the fact that you really...
Let's rephrase that question,
All right.
counsel.
Did you look back through these records,
keep your mouth shut.
these crime scene checklist records in July, with the concern that there might be something there that would reveal that you really didn't receive Mr. Simpson's blood vial in the afternoon of June 13th, but you really received it on the morning of the 14th?
That was not a concern to me because that's not what happened.
Okay. I direct your attention.
Uh-oh, he's going to pull down some evidence here. This is a big deal. Where he can't remember the day he collected the blood vial evidence. And so I didn't worry about it because that never happened.
Something like that, it's kind of important.
Yeah, well, let's see what Barry Scheck's got up his sleeve to prove his. Well, let's take a look at that phrase.
There is an erasure, is there not, between items 17 and 18 on this document?
He erased something on the evidence collection documents. Cool.
Oh. That is not great.
Yes, there is.
And what had been there before was a circle and a 7-5-94, and underneath it, your initials DF.
Dumb fuck. I mean, Dennis Fung. Sorry. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, there we go. Got a little erasure going. Erasure, great group from the 80s, by the way. Yeah, we got a little erasure going on here.
That appears to be what appears to be on the screen, yes.
And then there's...
Counsel, if you're showing him potential erasures on the Elmo, why don't you show him the original document?
Please take your time and examine it.
My favorite erasure song was Ship of Fools, like 86, 87.
Oh, that's an excellent one.
Okay.
Now,
although I like the John Cale
in that
version,
erased
if we're thinking of
portion,
the same
you had
song.
written 7-5-94 within a circle, and within that circle, you put your initials DF.
Yes.
And you put a line with an arrow on the top of it and an arrow on the bottom of it.
Yes.
To indicate that those items should be switched. 17 and 18.
And wrote,
is written
will you
on
go
that
to
piece of
prom with
paper.
me, and made a checkbox that said yes and a checkbox that said no.
I don't know why I wrote it, but yes, it's there.
So you took a look at that piece of paper and you became concerned about the fact that the sneakers were 17 and the blood vial was 18, right?
Chains of Love,
Yes.
that's a good song too.
And that was in July when you were going through these pages that you had that concern.
Apparently, yes.
And then after writing that notation, you decided to erase it.
I did erase it from what's here, yes.
And in going through the pages of the crime scene checklist, you saw another document that created a problem for you, didn't you?
Uh-oh.
What are you referring to?
Well, let me tell you.
I'm referring to page 4 of the crime scene checklist.
What are we
about it.
doing here?
Page 4 of the crime scene checklist
Chat,
has a
you guys are
box
so broken.
indicating disposition of evidence. I should say disposition of scene.
This candy cane tea smells so good.
I have to order that one next.
Okay. Page 4 has a box indicating evidence book 2,
Yes.
evidence book by,
Bigger. That was not an old school printer. That was a new
Disposition of
school
scene.
printer back then.
Yes.
and most
True.
importantly, sir, it has a box indicating time leaving scene.
I don't know if that's the most important box, but there is a blank there.
There's a box there that indicates time leaving scene, doesn't it?
Yes, there is a box there.
And Ms. Mazzola had been the one that was filling out these reports.
She was filling out the crime scene checklist that day.
And Ms. Mazzola was under the impression that you had left the Rockingham scene earlier than 5:20, wasn't she?
False speculation.
Sustained.
Do you know if Ms. Mazzola was under the impression in June that the two of you had left Rockingham before 5:20?
False hearsay.
Oh, well, I don't know when she thought we left Rockingham.
5:20 is the time that you wrote.
Oh, that'd be
on the
Vince
gray
Clark.
envelope. You received it from Detective Van Adder.
Vince
Yes,
Clark
it
is who
is.
that was.
If there were,
But also the
Somebody
the
filled in
chick
there
from
that said
Depeche Mode was
5:18.
also in Yazoo. Allison, what's her guts?
as to the time leaving scene, that would be inconsistent with what you wrote on the gray envelope you received from Detective Van Adder.
Argumentative, Your Honor.
Oh, well. If there was that time there, yes, it would.
And that's why you destroyed the original page 4,
Oops.
Mr. Fung.
Oops.
That's not true.
Mr. Fung, I'm going to show you
Don't destroy evidence.
each
That's a
of the
bad thing.
originals of this crime scene checklist.
If you go and destroy evidence, you're gonna have a bad
I want
time.
you to look at them. I want you to look at the upper left-hand corner of each of the pages.
I just left this little bit
And
about.
that
Well, I don't know
would
if that's the most
include-
important box.
Let me put it in order for you.
You may.
I don't know if she sounded a lot like Annie Lennox, but I mean, she was the vocalist for Depeche Mode as well. So yeah. Annie Lennox has more of that deep masculine kind of,
Why don't you, and Mrs.
low alto
Goldberg,
voice.
look at the left-hand corners,
Well, she was in
all those
Eurythmics,
pages
right?
of the crime scene checklist very, very carefully.
I mixed those up, Eurythmics and Erasure. I don't know why.
Really? Wow.
Because they probably because they go next to each other in like my iTunes library.
Weird.
Once upon a time.
My mic gain went up way high there. Sorry about that. Bringing me back down. All right. Well, this is seeing how the audio paused there for a second. This is a good place to take a pause here. J.A. says working. Just stopped by to contribute to Handsome Legal Vices drink. Well, thank you, J.A. And the lovely Chandler's YouTube fund. Thank you also for sending me Chandler's YouTube fund. Not simping, just supporting POVs. I agree with. Have a good day, y'all. Hey, thank you, Jay, and you have a great day too. And thank you for contributing to Doggo Cam. We are currently $50. I can't see my own little monitor. $40.
Like
from
40.
Dog Cam.
Yeah.
We are $40 away from Doggo Cam right now, and there. Yoda is sleeping very, very cutely over here, and Strawberry is staring blankly at the wall. So yeah, Doggo Cam is $40 away. But one thing I want to do is I want to mention this. It's just a gag gift. It's a kitschy thing. It's a fun thing that we all do here. It is law cards. If you're not familiar with law cards, what you need to do is you need to, first of all, you need to get rid of the super chat. Thank you, J.A. But you need to go to get law cards, GETLAWCARDS.com. Go to getlawcards.com/vices. That's where you want to go. Getlawcards.com/vices. And you want to buy from there. These are cards. These are trading cards. Farmhand Tom, he put these together. Great guy. Absolutely funny stuff. They come in packs of 5. $10 for a pack of 5. They are trading cards on professional quality, the stock cards you would get in baseball cards, football cards, basketball cards, Pokemon cards, things like that. Any card-based thing, like the professional stock quality. And it's just LawTube people and LawTube adjacent people. Yours truly here is featured prominently in the decks. Probably tomorrow or the next day will be a pile of cards arriving that I will be personally signing and sending back to Farmhand Tom. And when he sends them out, they will be randomly sent out to people that buy stuff. But you see, we've got everybody. We've got Branka, we've got Steve Gosney, we've got Megan Fox, we've got Steph the Alter Nerd, we've got me. We got like 3 me's right here. We've got Good Logic, we have Upside Down Ozzy, we have Lady Rackets there, Danny on up here in the corner. It's just a fun thing. It's just a little gifty thing to do. And there's going to be, we got Camelot here and his Fat Milk. We got Camelot and Fat Milk. We need, if you don't know who Camelot 331 is, you got to go to Camelot. You got to go to Camelot and watch him get some Fat Milk. It ain't fun unless you got some Fat Milk in you. Takes me a couple seconds to get into the Camelot voice.
Don't try the recipe. I've heard it's not very pleasant.
Well, if you get the law cards and you happen to be lucky enough to get a Fight Milk, it actually has the recipe right here. There's a QR code. There's a QR code where you can scan the QR code and it will take you to a video clip of whatever the card is talking about. And here's talking about the Fat Milk, which is 8 ounces of milk, 2 raw eggs, and 3 ounces of vodka. They said 30 ounces of vodka. I'm like, shit.
30 ounces of vodka is a little much.
That's like 5 cups, 4 cups. But yeah, so it's just a gag gift. It's a fun gift. This is from this card over here on the right is from the Las Vegas card with Nick, Branka, and Steve Gosney. I've got a Maritime Monday card. And if you just go to getlawcards.com/vices, you can order them anywhere from individual packs. If you go to the order now, you can get the individual packs for it's a 10-pack. I'm sorry, I thought it was a 5-pack. Wow, there you go. You get the 10-pack, the 15-pack, the 24-pack. So yeah, in each pack you'll get 1 signature card. Sweet, cool. And the signature cards are randomly available. There's a 50, and I ordered the entire 24-pack. But they're $5 for 1 pack. So you here you got $10 if you want to go. And for the 5 cards, 2 packs, 24. I got the whole complete card, which oh shit, I didn't get that one. I didn't get that one. Didn't get that complete set.
I love it. I think it's so much fun. Also, did you know that I am going to have a law card soon?
I did not know that.
That is true. Yeah, I've been talking to Farmhand Tom, and he's been working on a mock-up, and so I'm not sure exactly when that's going to be available. But Steve put me in touch with him, and so I will have my very own law card soon. I will be joining the pack, so it'll be really exciting.
Well, that's great, and we're developing the Legal Vices pack. So at some point in the very near future, you are going to be able to order the Legal Vices pack. Some of the cards that might be in there are this one. This is the Doggo Cam. This is the newest edition, the Doggo Cam here. We've got the Danny On and Legal Vices Christmas deal here, the interview of the century.
That's so good with the hats.
Yeah, that was our Christmas thing here where we talk about relationships, faith, and streaming. Scan the code to watch. Or the Flux card. We've got the Flux card. Flux. If you're not paying attention, look over here. We've got the Legal Vices and Flux card. We're doing our unexplained. This is the Denver Airport Bronco that's there with the weird bluish light
Lucifer
laser eyes. Oh yeah.
They call him Lucifer. I'm familiar. I've flown into Denver enough times. That is
It's
a
a
creepy,
weird
weird
fucking
statue.
airport.
It is a very weird airport. I have heard things. I have seen things.
All of
Okay,
the
well,
artwork they have in there is wild. We've got
It's
the legal
bizarre.
vices. This is just the live stream. It's been updated to once a month. This is the fucking Friday legal vices card here, where we get the variety of guests. And I like how they have everybody here: Andrew Branca, Steve Gosney, Flux, Good Logic, potentially criminal Sean, Ozzy, Overlord, Nick, and Steph the Ultra Nerd made the cover of that card. These are just some fun things that happen. And I just think it's hilarious that Farmhand Tom did this. It's so good.
I really love it. I can't wait to get them. I have to put an order in.
And now he's got things set up to be made to order, so we're all good to go. And let's see there. Where's the other last thing I want to do here? Share screen. Where are we? Where's my PDF file? Oh, here it is. Share. Okay, this has the this is the Maritime Monday card. Recent episodes include the scuttling of the Nostromo, the Zeebrugge ferry disaster, the doomed Franklin expedition.
Nice.
We've got the legal vices card. This is American lawyer living a career for 34 years. Get it while it's hot, because in a few months it'll be 35 years. We've got the just the random card. We got the Nicholas Starov card.
I love it. I love it.
This is the Vikings just came over to say hi card.
It's a favorite moment of mine personally.
And this is the card that will be signed. This will be my signature instead of just the generic legal vices signature there. And so this shows you kind of some of the cards here that are available. There's a huge selection of these cards.
That's
And
fantastic. I
just
love the
all of
overview.
just all of your LawTube and LawTube adjacent people. It's just fun. It's a gag gift. It's super fun. And, if you want to do it, do it. If you don't, you don't. Go to getlawcards.com/vices and get your cards. All right. That's the end of the weird, awkward midstream grift. I just thought I'd point that out.
Who doesn't
They're
love a
just super
mystery
fun.
grift?
Will there be a legal vices blocks all of Danny On's viewers cards? It wasn't me. It was the shower water droplet on the screen. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Sure.
Chandler said that she's getting a law card developed. So, yeah, it's on the way.
I don't know when it's coming up, but Farmhand Tom and I have been talking, and Gosney was just like, "Hey, Chandler, yeah." So we've it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be cute.
Oh, and during that whole thing, I left this tea steeping. This is going to be super strong. Wow. All right, so that's it. Branca signed a few on 420. There's going to be 40 or 50 cards that I signed, so there's a good chance you'll get one if you order one.
I love it.
That's
It's
enough.
so special. It's so unique. It's such a cool, fun thing to have, especially if you're just a big fan of LawTube, especially like
Yeah, and it's
like
just
we all are.
stupid and kitschy and a gag gift, but it's kind of fun as well.
It's fantastic. Well, there's something really special about having something tangible in your hands. Like when I got Steve Gosney's book, that was the first thing that I could
Yeah.
hold that was like kind of, a remnant of, like my journey, into this whole enterprise and, loving LawTube for this past year. So it's really cool to just have something to hold and touch. That's, part of that.
It is. Yeah, there's Runkle cards, there's Danny cards, there's Ian cards, Valhalla's got a couple cards in there.
All your faves.
It's all fun. Yeah. It's just this weird thing that Farmhand Tom put together because he's a big fan of all of us. He likes us. He's kind of the entrepreneur guy.
Well, and the graphics are great. He's put so much work into it. It's so artistic.
Really.
It's so well organized. Well put together. Like they're beautiful. Really, they're really lovely. The design.
Yeah. So do that if you want. So that's a thing.
That's a thing.
Uh-oh, we have a thing. Will the doggos be signing cards? See, that's one thing we're talking about with those two doggo cards, like inked paw prints. That may be happening in the future, but it's not being talked about right now. But inked paw prints might be a thing when we develop the entire legal vices card pack.
It could be very cute. Just get dog safe ink.
Now, we have a lot of people here in chat. This is a weird thing. Because Steve Gosney dropped off the planet a while ago. He just disappeared, rode off into the ether. And there's a lot of the where is Steve Gosney stuff going on.
I was I was on his
He
goodbye
did-
stream.
Yeah, he did say he was going goodbye for a while, dealing with some important issues in Florida relating to death penalty cases.
Right.
There's something happening. There is something happening out there. I just want to let you know that a little birdie just told me this. Where is Gosney? Where is Gosney? Little birdie told me that the return of the gauze is nigh. The return of the gauze may be happening Friday, 8 p.m. on Rumble. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm a big
There
fan of
will
Steve Gosney.
be a Gosney stream on Friday on Rumble on Steve Gosney stream. It's the return of the gauze, the return of the cause. Get the gauze stream. So everyone asking where is gauze, do not wait. Do not fret. Do not fear. He's in perfect health. There will be a gauze stream Friday night on Steve Gosney's Rumble.
I'm looking forward to that. Glad to hear about it.
Marv White, super sticker. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it, as always. We are inching our way closer to Doggo Cam. So, the where is gauze? Let's find out. We're off to see the wonderful Wizard of Gauze, because of the wonderful things he does. We're off to see the wonderful Wizard of Gauze. I have been in far too many productions of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, really? But have you ever done The Wiz?
No, I'm totally the wrong color of black for being in The Wiz.
It's a little different.
And here is he himself. Man, you blew my surprise, but I love you, bud.
Gosney, I owe you an email. He emailed me. I'm sorry. I have to get back to you. I saw your email. I promise you'll get a reply soon.
Well, you said to create drama for the return of gauze. I thought you wanted me to mention that. I thought you wanted me to hype the return of the gauze.
Yeah. Jeff, you spoiled the surprise.
I thought that's what he wanted. I thought you wanted me to create some buzz for the upcoming return of the gauze. Oops.
Well, I was happy to hear the news. I'll put it that way.
Forget what you just heard. We don't know where the hell Gosney is. He's disappeared. I don't know anything about him. Who?
Gosney? What Gosney? Where Gosney? Who Gosney?
What are we talking?
I'm not sure.
Unspecific instructions. Hurry. Yeah.
Oh.
Let me just
But
take
he
another
loves you,
drink of
bud.
tea here. A little birdie told me absolutely not a thing, so never mind. We don't know where Gosney is. This guy here in stream is an imposter. Just forget about him. He doesn't exist.
It's a fake
Do not
Gosney.
interact. Do not feed the troll. We don't know who this is.
Yeah, he even used his the same picture that he put of his dog on Twitter. Total phony.
Yeah.
Very
total
committed to the to faking us out. It's impressive.
Oops. Sorry, Steve. I thought I was doing a good thing. I love you, brother. Let's get back to Dennis Fung here. We got our law cards grift out of the way here. Get the law cards. GetLawCards.com/vices. Get all your law cards.
Get him.
What is the law card links for Jeff? That's what I said. GetLawCards.com/vices. That's all you get. No, that's not a mod. That's a fake wrench. Just don't pay any attention to that. He doesn't exist. We don't know where Gosney is. Shh. All right, let's get back to the funging business. I'm not sure where we are. Let me check just to make sure. Okay, we're $40 away from Doggo Cam. Thank you so much to everybody that's contributed so far. Let's get back. I will bring up the screen here right now. Get back to some Dennis Fung.
All right, and I will be right back.
Mr. Fung.
That's correct.
That's page 4, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
That's because that page 4 is not the original page 4.
That's apparent to me now, yes?
That's because you got rid of the original page 4. Isn't that true, Mr. Fung?
That's not true.
That's because it had the wrong time on it. Isn't that true?
Oof.
If it had the wrong time, no, that's not true.
Whoa! You can't just say if it had the wrong time. I mean, no, that's not true. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You can't say, well, if it is, no, never mind. It's not true.
Your Honor, I'd like to do two more things, and I'm finished questioning this witness. What I would like to do is first have printed out on the Elmo a copy of the document with the erasure. And then I would ask that each of these documents handed to the jury so they can examine them.
All right, let's print out this document on the Elmo.
Elmo.
This is printed out at 1107A. And,
Elmo needs some glasses.
the printout will be 1107.
Yeah, see, that's the thing here. We had the shoes in one report, the shoes being collected before the blood, and in another instance, the blood being numbered before the shoes. So they did this little, oh, let's do the switchy arrow. Can you see the little arrow? Let's invert these two arrows. And so they did this switcheroo. Dennis Fung initials it, and then they just erase the whole thing. That is not a tickle me Elmo. It's just an Elmo. Oscar was green. Grover was blue. Well, thank you, Elmo, for this beautiful picture we're looking at here. Fungal me Elmo. Should have used a better eraser. Those pink ones suck. We used to like make cars out of them with like staples. We'd like make staple sleds and spaceships and stuff out of those little pink erasers. But like those ink erasers, they never work. They just tore your paper to pieces. Like those blue ink erasers that never erased ink, they just erased the paper.
All right, we got that printed out, Mr. Fairlow. All right.
Can you hear it printing? Runs through the dot matrix.
All right, let's proceed. Mr. Scheck?
Yes.
Hand those documents, please, to number 1, please. And that's exhibit 1107. All right, back on the record. Record should reflect that we've been rejoined by all the members of our jury panel. Mr. Scheck, have you concluded your cross-examination of Mr. Fung?
No, you're not even close. We're days away, Judge Ito. We are days away. I think we've literally just hit midstream. Because, and again, for those of you that don't know, for those of you that are just joining us, for those of you that aren't familiar with this cross-examination of Dennis Fung by BARRY SCHECK, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, and as I've mentioned many, many times before, legal analysts and whatnot, lawyers and other, they have said that it's been called the greatest cross-examination in legal history, other than the Scopes monkey trial cross-examination by Clarence Darrow. So this is like, legal scholars will say this is probably the number 2 best cross-examination in recorded legal history. And it went on for 8.5 days. Dennis Fung was on the stand under cross-examination for 8.5 days. And when he got off the stand after 8.5 days of this brutal cross-examination, and right now we're only on like day 4. I think we're in the morning of day 4. After 8.5 days of being on the witness stand, being cross-examined by BARRY SCHECK, Dennis Fung was so confused, was so discombobulated, was so out of his own dang mind that he got off the stand. The prosecution's star witness, the criminologist, the evidence collector for the Los Angeles Police Department, got off the stand, shook the hands, and hugged members of the defense team. That's how messed up he was by the time he got off the stand. He had no idea which way was up, shook hands, and hugged the defense team. And we'll talk about that when we get to that point in a few months from now.
Yes, I have, Your Honor.
All right. Redirect examination, Mr. Goldberg.
So that's actually the end of the cross-examination. Then we get the redirect, then the recross, then the redirect. So we're kind of midstream here, and I'm sorry Chandler missed that. We're just getting. Oh, they finished the cross-examination, and now they're going into redirect.
Got it.
And then they're going to go into the so this is actually a milestone. He's not off the stand yet. This is just the end of the direct and cross. Now they're going to try to rehabilitate him as a witness, and then this is still going for days.
Good evening, Mr. Fung.
Good evening.
Ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Fung, let me see if I have this. Were you involved together with Detective Lang, Detective Furman, Detective Van Adder, Michelle Kessler, and her husband, whoever that might be, in a conspiracy against this defendant?
Let's see.
He doesn't even know who the husband is. Or the,
Whoever
the
that
wife.
might be.
Like, anybody, whoever these other people might be. Were you involved in a conspiracy? That's the best he can do coming out of the gate.
Objection.
Were you involved in a conspiracy with that guy, that dude, the bro?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Were you involved in some kind of a conspiracy with Andrea Mazzola to cover up receiving some item with your bare hands?
No.
Were you involved in any conspiracy with Detective Van Adder to allow him to keep a vial overnight so that he could do with it what he pleased?
No.
Or with Detective Lang to allow him into the evidence processing room so that he could somehow maybe take the defendant's shoes and in some way get any DNA that might be on them, on the swatches and the controls?
Objection.
Grounds.
Grounds.
Leading, compound, speculative.
Sustained on the leading ground.
Were you involved in any conspiracy whatsoever with Mr. Lang to allow him into an evidence processing room?
No.
Or
with anyone in this case, Mr. Fung?
Nobody.
Now, Mr. Fung, do you recall that on a cross-examination, an issue came up as to one of the pages from the crime scene identification checklist, the original of which was missing?
Yes.
And do you happen to have a Xerox copy of that page now?
No.
Not the original, but a Xerox.
See that read it.
You kind of need the original. Sorry. A copy isn't going to cut it.
And we're referring to 1107, correct?
I don't have one, no.
And did you find the original of that document?
Yes, I did.
How did you do that?
I opened up my notebook and examined that page, and it was there.
And I did
Now,
something.
there are two notebooks that are sort of similar that you've seen. One is the notebook that I'm holding in my hand. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then you have a notebook in front of you.
Yes.
And for the record, Your Honor, these are blue notebooks about an inch thick or so.
Appear to be.
And is your notebook your own personal notes that you maintained?
Yes.
Okay. So you found the original of that document that was missing in your notebook?
I think we should which document, which item number for the record?
It's a little obscure.
Okay. It was part of what's been marked the crime scene identification checklist. I believe that's defense 1107 for identification.
Yes.
That was page 4 of the.
No, not page 4, the other page that talked about giving certain items to Mr. Yamauchi.
Yes.
That's leading. And I'd like to know which document, I think the record should be clear as to which document he's talking about.
Sustain.
Okay,
Raise the
I
question.
cannot. I'll introduce it, Your Honor.
This guy
Your
is
Honor,
not
this
as
is a
dynamic as
page
Barry.
entitled Field Notes. And
Yeah, it falls a little flat.
It has in the upper left-hand corner the date of 6/14/94, and then lists certain items council's.
All right. People's next in order.
Yes.
People's 181.
May I approach?
You may.
So showing you People's 181, you recognize that?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
This is a page that I used to record the transaction of items when I released them to criminalist Yamauchi.
Okay, and is that the original?
Yes, it is.
Now, generally speaking, the documents that you have in your notebook, are those originals or copies?
The ones I have in my notebook are generally copies.
And showing you the notebook that I have in front of me, I think you've seen this before, but are these supposed to be the originals or copies?
These should be the originals.
So in some manner, the original of that document got into your notebook instead of the notebooks that's supposed to contain the originals?
Yes.
During the recess, sir, did you have an opportunity to look in your notebook and find the original of page 4?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to mark as people's next in order. That's Exhibit 182.
182.
A document that has page 4 at the top, and it has various writing, all typewritten, but it's not filled out. Now, sir, you testified that you were a firearms examiner, is that correct? Right.
Yes.
And do you also do tool marks?
I have, yes.
Okay. I'd like to show you what's just been marked as people's next exhibit, page number 4. Will you take a look at that, sir?
Yes.
And will you take a look at the staple holes in the upper left-hand corner?
Yes.
I'm now going to show you the document that was marked as Defense 1107 for identification. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
Sir, can you please visually compare the staple holes on page 4 to the staple holes on the succeeding page? Have you done so?
Yes.
And can you form any
Incoming
conclusions about that
doggo
comparison?
cam.
Form a preliminary conclusion.
We are
Which
now
is-
$10 away from
They
doggo
appear to
cam.
have,
Fabulous.
this appears to be the document that was missing from this set of originals.
When you say preliminary, you're not going
Thank you
won't
so
form a
much,
final
Bella
conclusion
Stella.
at this time. Is that right?
Not at this time.
And why is that, sir?
I feel I would have to go back to the lab and look at it under a controlled situation with a microscope and other tools.
And that would be the standard practice for a forensic scientist.
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, could we pass those documents, Defense 1107?
We must approach.
Uh-oh. They've got to discuss it.
Your Honor, may we approach?
With court order. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have to let the court reporters go so they can catch their train, and I told them I'd let them go at 10 minutes to 6. because of our computerized court reporting system, after they finish the day, they then have to take the floppy disk and
computerized. How
download it to the main
technologically
computer and all of that, so we
advanced.
can produce our transcripts every day. And they have to catch the train. So we're going to take our break right now. Mr. Fung, you can step down. You're ordered to be here tomorrow morning at 8:30. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to stand in recess until tomorrow morning as far as the jury is concerned, until 9 o'clock. Please remember all of my admonitions to you. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Don't conduct any deliberations till the matter has been submitted to you. Do not allow anybody to communicate with you with regards to the case. Have a pleasant evening. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. All right, we'll stand in recess.
So coming up
And
next is
counsel
either
can
day
remain
4 or
to,
day
view
5, and I'm not
exhibits
sure which.
Before we break. All right, thank you.
Whew. Well, all right. Here's the deal. It's now 1:00 a.m. here. This was the perfect stopping point for the day. However, let me get this off here. We don't need to watch me scrambling madly for things here. That's the intimate cam. There we go.
Oh, that's very, very up close and
Jill-
personal.
We're at a personally perfect spot to end this. But Jillian N has just given us the last $10 we need to release the doggo cam.
That was
So
very nice of her.
I'm thinking, just for this at least, we need to go another 30 minutes. Do you have another 30 minutes in you?
I think so. Yeah.
It would suck to go, thank you for the $10. We're out of here. Bye.
Just like see the dogs for 5 seconds. It was like
Yeah,
later.
There you go. Should have done it quicker.
No, I think another 30 minutes is in order. I can do it. If you can do it, I can do it. It's funny. This is the latest that I've woken up for OJ, and it's the first time I actually want to go back to bed. But I really love doing OJ, so I can hold out as long as you can.
All righty. Well, all right. This is some arguments outside the presence of the jury. So
Yeah,
before
let's
we go,
give the
thank
people
you.
what they want.
Yeah, we need to do that. So Jillian, you've convinced me to stick around for another 30 minutes. We'll give another 30 minutes, but we does what we's got to does. But while we're here, I've grifted enough for me. Give us a quick little grift for yourself there.
For me? Sure.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be on YouTube. I'm really excited to put out some new videos. If you guys didn't come in the beginning and hear my intro, I'm Chandler Remington. I'm a paralegal from Los Angeles, California. You might know me by now, but if you don't, I'm new to YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm an advocate for men's rights and men's mental health, men's well-being. And I put out videos where I highlight male victims, or at least I am going to soon. And I'm really looking forward to doing some streams, having some friends on. It'll be a lot of fun. So go follow me at Remy, REMY_legal. That is my YouTube channel. I am, I think, 170-ish people away from 1,000 subscribers, and I just have to get my videos up. I have to get some, viewing hours. So please help me reach my goal. And yeah, thank you guys so much for all believing in me and following me. I'm amazed that I have so many followers. I appreciate it so much, and I'm really happy and looking forward to putting out more content. I'm studying for the LSAT, so my timeline is a little challenging, but I'm gonna get the videos out there. You guys are gonna love them, I hope.
And D What has also given us a $10 super sticker of a Japanese it's a Shiba Inu dog dancing. So thank you for that. Well, ladies and germs, there's only one thing we can do at this point. The one thing we can do at this point is the only thing that we can justify spending another 30 minutes here for, and that is release the hounds. There we go. There we are. Doggo Cam is in action. Thank you so much for getting us to our little goal that we do here. The Doggo Cam goal is achieved. There we go. Now,
I love
it. Hey, what are you doing, Strawberry? Get on over here. Show your face on the cam. Smile for the camera. Hey there, what's up, everybody? What's up?
all right, there we go.
Okay, that's really cute.
Oh, there's some like dog butt there. All right. No, you can't go under the desk. You're on you're under the desk the whole time. Now I have to go perform. Dance for your food, dog. Dance for your food. Sing for your food. All right, there
Give
we
the
go.
people what they want.
Exactly.
Oh, they're good,
Work
though.
it,
They're
doggy.
good little,
Work
they're
it.
good little performers. They have an awareness of the camera, I think.
Yeah.
They're really cute.
Yoda has no awareness of anything. Yoda's been sitting
Yoda's
here,
like passed out.
hasn't even moved for like 3 hours. Yes, Spacebar. We talked about the passing of Jerry Springer earlier today.
Old news. Old news. You gotta keep up.
We talked about the passing of the former mayor of Cincinnati from 1977 to 1978.
And somebody said he went to the great trailer park in the sky or something like that.
Nice. All right. So there we are. We got 30 more minutes of doggo stuff in us. We can do that. Should be going to sleep, but why not? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. There we go. That's what I wanted to do.
More fun.
And I'm still trying to find. Oh, we can do it. We couldn't do this before, but we can now. D. Watt was the previous reigning person to name the dogs, to name the dog cam. But unfortunately, D. Watt was overtaken by the Brandon Collective. Definitely not Brandon. Gave $201 in a super chat to eclipse D. Watt's $200 super chat, but the Brandon Collective didn't mention what the name of the doggo cam should be, and I forgot what D. Watt's is. D. Watt, if you're here, let me know what the name of the dog cam is. I forgot, and then we'll put that up there on the dog cam.
I think it was
Jillian,
Bonnie and Clyde something.
a little extra for staying later. Oh, yeah, it was Bonnie and Clyde. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah, well, you don't have to do that, Jillian, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, D. Whom? Yeah. D was it was the Bonnie and Clyde doggo cam. So all right. Until we hear from the Brandon Collective with a different name, then that's what it'll be. Bonnie and Clyde doggo cam. There we go. Oh, okay, never mind. It just tells it on my screen and it doesn't add it to the doggo stream. Never mind. Forget everything I just said because StreamYard. Whatever. All right. Oh, let's get back to the juice. The juice stain. We have to embiggen this. Boop. Oh, Judge Ito's talking and we've been ignoring him. Sorry, Ito. Back in time. Huey Lewis. I fully intend to be there. I fully intend to be there. You shoot me the link, I will be there. Oh God, that's loud. I
Page
forgot.
4 of the Evans Collection checklist.
All right.
Mr. Scheck.
Your Honor, I would like to make this argument by giving the prosecution every benefit of the doubt in the assumptions that one makes. And even when one does that, I think the record...
All right, Mr. Fung, why don't you wait outside for us? Thank you. Mr. Scheck.
Thank you, Your Honor. And even
Get out of
if,
here, Fung.
One gives
Get
every
the Fung out of here.
Reasonable assumption to the prosecution in terms of this course of conduct. I don't think that there's any question, but what happened here was a deliberate and intentional misconduct on the part of the prosecution. In making this argument and in drafting a proposed instruction to the jury, I intend to follow very carefully this court's decision with respect to the videotapes in the Rosa Lopez matter. In this court's decision, with respect to failure to disclose certain matters of discovery, the first factor that the court began to look at was the history of discovery proceedings up to this point. First, other factors, other problems that have arisen. And I would note for the court that...
Wait, that was the whole redirect?
Did we didn't skip over something, did we?
No.
Oh my God, they must have just known they were screwed and, how do they rehabilitate that? I mean,
That was the whole redirect. Did you conspire to plant evidence? No. All right. Get off. Okay. No,
that
this
was
is
incredibly weak. Yeah.
no. Okay. I guess we're not done yet. This is outside. I got ahead of myself. This is outside the presence of the jury.
Oh, I see. All right.
This is
So there
outside
might
the
be more
presence of
redirects.
Fung. Yeah.
They might
Yeah.
have more. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
mean, I hope they have more because oh my god, like that is just completely that would not cut it. It would not cut the mustard whatsoever.
Yep. Mac Turney asks, who is this attorney? This is Barry Schcheck, one of the co-founders of the Innocence Project, together over here with Peter Neufeld. These two guys, they founded the Innocence Project. I can't forget. This is the one I get confused. Is it Innocence Project or Project? It's Innocence Project, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Because I always get confused, like Project Innocence or Innocence Project. Innocence Project.
I believe it's the Innocence Project.
Yeah,
that is my
they're
understanding.
co-founders of that, and this is one of the greatest cross-examinations you will ever see in the history of mankind.
There have been quite a few problems with respect to the discovery on evidence collection. First, there's the matter that the court still has under submission of the failure to disclose the videotape of Mr. Simpson's residence, which has some very material information in it, in particular, the time in which the tape was taken and the very suspicious absence of the socks as the camera pans Mr. Simpson's bedroom and what the prosecution is saying about 414. More disturbing still is that the prosecution indicated that they had turned over to us the serology room transaction cards, which would indicate who went in and out of evidence processing room transaction card sheet, indicating who would go in and out of the evidence processing room on the morning of June 14th.
That's false, Your Honor.
Wait.
False? That's a bold statement.
You know how this works. All right. Proceed.
Mr. Goldberg turned over these printouts of the evidence processing room. And to give him every benefit of the doubt, what he has told us is that he turned over what he had, which did not include the times of the early morning. It only started, I think, around 9:40, but it didn't include the early morning. And he indicates that in terms of what he had, he didn't have it either. All right. And he didn't give us a complete set. That's what he says. Let's just take it as he says it. Nonetheless, we didn't get it. We eventually got it during cross-examination, in the middle of the cross-examination of Mr. Fung, but that happened. Then there are other disturbing problems with respect to our access to this evidence, and that is that with respect, for example, to the hairs and fibers from the hat found at Rockingham, a bindle was created by Dr. Lee of hairs and fibers.
And we will watch Dr. Lee's testimony somewhere down the line. We'll be watching Dr. Henry Lee, who is one of my idols and one of Steve Gosney's favorite subjects, blood spatter.
That was removed in Albany.
But isn't that a factual issue that I haven't resolved yet?
Oh, no, I understand that. I'm just saying the state of the record. I'm trying to be as objective as possible in setting the background for what I think is the real egregious problem here.
No, but you're citing something to me that there's no factual determination that did or did not happen. We are aware of the LAPD video that was turned over in a light manner. I'm aware of the barcode, the access card records. Right. All right. But this other stuff I'm not familiar with.
Well, no.
I've heard it. It's not in the record.
Well, I think it is in the record in terms of, and I don't think there'll be any dispute that what's happened here is that and Mr. Yokelson is still searching for it. I mean, and we've been talking about it, and there's
Mr. Yokelson's a yokel.
The fact of the matter is that these hairs and fibers were taken off the hat. A bindle was created. It was photographed back at the crime lab, and they haven't found it yet. There is, again, the matter of the lens and the prescription glasses, which, again, is at this point unaccounted for. The reason I raise this, Your Honor, is that the difficulty that I have here, and I think it fits into one of the factors that the court considered on the discovery sanction, and if I may quote you, is that what you're looking for in terms of these discovery sections.
See, this is when when you quote the judge, you're always walking into dangerous territory.
Is that so?
You're kind of backing the judge into a corner where either you're forcing him to agree with you or you're forcing him to go, no, you completely misunderstood everything I said, and therefore I'm going to destroy you.
I could see that.
We have to assume that on important issues that an absolute bare minimum of professional competence would require that the lawyer preparing to present testimony of witnesses confirm an inventory of statements, reports, notes, recordings, etc. Now, all that I'm saying here, Your Honor, is that I think that there's a clear pattern that in this discovery that what's been going on is that the prosecution is far more concerned with what they think the defense is going to find than they are in ensuring that they are really turning over to us all the evidence in an accurate and complete form. And that the fact of the matter is that I'll proffer to the court. What's been going on, as the court's well aware, is that we go to the laboratory and we have visits and we try to examine documents and evidence, and everybody sits there and they take notes about exactly what we're looking at and exactly what we're thinking.
Well, Mr. Scheck, what I'm really interested in, though, are the facts and circumstances that surround page 4.
I understand. I think that's...
Now, remember, they're accusing him of destroying evidence, destroying the original page 4, and the prosecution is arguing to have the original page 4 of this document.
Necessary backdrop because it's a factor that the court's considered. As with respect to page 4, I think that this is a clearer statement of the record. We went and visited the LAPD laboratory and asked to examine the original notes of the crime scene checklists at Rockingham and Bundy and everything that was filled out by Ms. Mazzola and Ms. Fung. That was delivered to us at the SID laboratory in the presence of Mr. Goldberg by Greg Matheson, and they gave us a book that purported to be originals. There are 2 laboratory notes that were taken by, I believe, Mr. Matheson at this time that actually document this and document how Mr. Neufeld was looking at the original notes of Fung and Mazzola, and we went and asked if we could copy them, and how I was looking at the field notes while Mr. Neufeld was checking his notes. There are records of them watching us looking at these documents with great care. I'm sure Mr. Goldberg will not dispute that at that evidence lab, when I looked at those original documents, obviously I was very concerned because I thought that I asked Dr. Lee to come over and look at it. I thought that I found a discrepancy in terms of the originals. I asked Mr. Goldberg if we could copy it.
Mrs. Robertson, can I have both page 4s, please?
I asked Mr.
Oh, we get to compare them.
All right. I'd like to see them, please. All right. Go ahead.
I asked Mr. Goldberg.
And the APS, how do you win a clear-cut, perfect case if you hand over everything to the defense? That's the idea of fairness. You have to turn over everything to each other. You have to disclose what you have, good and bad, to the other side.
It's called discovery, and it's essential to any trial, really.
Yeah, so you can't hide evidence. You're allowed to prepare your defense. So that's the thing. That's why you have the first Zachariah Anderson trial ended in a mistrial because the prosecution did not turn over evidence to the defense team.
Right.
That cost them the trial.
That's called a Brady violation. When you don't hand over exculpatory evidence that you have, exculpatory meaning that it could possibly exonerate the defendant. You kind of need to do that. It's really important.
Yeah.
Goldberg, if we could make a copy of the originals. He was reluctant to do so. He didn't want to make a copy of the originals right there in the lab.
Oh, and by the way, before we go any further, in just a few hours, Flux on her channel, House of Flux, HOUSEOFFLUXX, one word, 2 X's, will be interviewing Zachariah Anderson's sister, Zenith, on her channel.
I'm
just
very
a few
much
hours
looking forward to
from now.
that.
That'll be good. So check out
Yes,
House of Flux.
everybody go over and watch. It's at, I believe, I want to say 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah,
Am I correct?
I think you are.
All right, everybody should go over and watch that. That'll be fantastic.
I then appealed to Mr. Yokelson, and Mr. Yokelson agreed, and a copy of those originals was then turned over to the defense. Subsequently, as the court is well aware, we made a specific request, a written request, to have all the original documents from the checklists examined by a document examiner. The district attorney's office balked and asked that I make an offer of proof, or they contested our right to have a document examiner look at the original documents. What they were telling us were the original documents. As the court, I'm sure, recalls, I made an ex parte offer to the court. And in that ex parte offer, I explained to the court very clearly what I thought the problems were, that I had seen this erasure with respect to somebody going back over the documents on July 4th, that we didn't see any staple holes.
July 5th.
I'm sorry?
July 5th.
July 5th. That we did not see any staple holes on page 4 of the Rockingham checklist, and believed that that was not an original, and I wanted to have an expert examine that in the other documents. I explained to the court at that time that it was our contention in this case that we did not believe that Mr. Fung had ever received Mr. Simpson's blood vial on the afternoon of June 13th, but in fact had received it in the morning. I further pointed out to the court the written documentation on where Ms. Mazzola had indicated that the blood vial had been received after the sneakers. I further pointed out to the court her testimony at the split hearing, which Your Honor heard, in which she indicated that she did not recall, essentially, seeing Mr. Fung receive this blood sample from Detective Van Adder on June 13th. So the document examination occurred, and we were operating on the assumption, because it was a representation by the prosecutors, that the documents we were looking at were originals. I don't think there's any question. The prosecution concedes now that that was a false representation. We were not looking at originals, that in fact, page 4, they are claiming, was not the original. And it was perfectly plain, I think, after document examination, that that page 4 was not the original. And we relied upon that representation. During the course of Mr. Fung's testimony, he made representations, and it was our understanding from looking at the manual that all original documents are supposed to be kept in one place within the laboratory, and that they're collected there for purposes of review by supervisors. And he agreed that that was true, and that the documents that had been segregated were the originals. Then there was another document that I'd like to get the exact, it was first introduced by the prosecution, and that was a document that had an L number on it, and it referred to, it was undated. It was written on a field report note. L16, and there's a specific prosecution number, I can't recall what the number was, but it was used with Mr. Fung on direct examination. Mr. Yokelson, Mr. Hodgman, and Mr. Goldberg represented to us that they had not yet found the original of that lab sheet. So on direct examination, an original was not used, an original had not yet been located. The day before, I guess it was the day before yesterday, maybe Mr. Goldberg knows it better than I do, but I think it was the day before yesterday, which would make it Wednesday. Mr. Goldberg turned over the original. They had found the original. Presumably, I take it from what they're saying, that they found the original in Mr. Fung's own notebook. That, I would submit, Your Honor, should have put them on notice that perhaps they had not turned over all the originals to us as they had represented they had done, and it was a representation, obviously, that we were relying upon, and relying upon heavily in terms of framing a final line of cross-examination. So I would say at this point, in terms of the court's discovery analysis, that certainly we have a false representation, and the question is whether it was inadvertent neglect or gross neglect. I would submit at this point, we can at least assume it's gross neglect. And let us assume that it was not knowledgeable or intentional up to this point. In other words, when I was cross-examining Mr. Fung yesterday, even after they realized that there might be some originals in his notebook and some of the documents they gave us were not originals, let us assume that they did not know and they were not intentionally trying to set us up in terms of the cross-examination. All right, it's just a gross neglect at this point. However, what happened afterwards clearly is intentional misconduct. This was an important witness, and the issue here was a critical one. Whether or not this blood vial was turned over, we all know that we're about to broach the issue in opening that about a quarter of Mr. Simpson's blood sample is unaccounted for based on the records that we had been given up through the opening statement, and we opened on it, and we think that that is an extraordinarily serious issue in terms of tampering with evidence. It goes to the heart of this case. Mr. Fung had been impeached on many points that I think it's fair to say
he's been impeached on 1 or 2 points. Like the entire thing. Yeah, he's being very generous by saying he's been impeached on 1 or 2 points.
Yes. Wow, this is quite serious.
Yeah, so now we're getting to the heart of the manufacturing and or planting of evidence.
Have damaged his credibility in terms of other important pieces of evidence. The Bundy glove, the movement of those which he can't account for. An envelope where he was, taking it with his bare hand, where that was caught on videotape. But then, of course, the most
how about that, Mr. Fung?
Is that during the examination yesterday, and I must say that the court extended every possible courtesy to the prosecution in terms of allowing them to look at these videotapes. You handled it very, very carefully, trying to prevent
Not carefully enough.
Well, trying to prevent any unfair surprise. I mean, they were given all the videotapes. The only thing that I was reluctant to reveal to them openly or in an offer of proof to you is that by looking at the cars, we had ascertained that Mr. Fung's testimony that he had carried a blood vial out in the brown bags, the posse box, or in his own hands was false. But in terms of giving them the real evidence, they had it. They had an hour to look at it. They had a long time to think about it. The court conducted the examination outside the presence of the jury. It was done by the book. What happened here, however, Your Honor, is that at some point in time, before I finished my cross-examination, before I stood up after the break and said no further questions, the prosecution, if we take them at their word, went through Mr. Fung's book and discovered the original page 4. Given their representations that they had given us all the originals, the proper course of conduct at that point would have been to inform the court and counsel that their prior representations had been false. They purposely did not do that. Instead, what they tried to do was begin a direct examination to rehabilitate Mr. Fung in an unfair way, to try to rehabilitate his credibility on this critical issue of whether or not he got the blood vial on June 13th as opposed to the morning of June 14th. And they then began to do that on redirect examination. I heard the first question about the one sheet that they had originally told us was not an original and they'd found the original. That was fair enough. Then, to my great surprise, I heard that second question. And that is about page 4. Now, the real danger, this is intentional misconduct. They knew it. They had a break to think about it. They all sat here and discussed it. Mr. Harmon, Mr. Clark, Mr. Goldberg, and Ms. Clark. They sat there and they discussed it and they thought about it. And they thought, wouldn't this be terrific? Let's rehabilitate Mr. Fung. It'll look like this was an innocent mistake. And therefore, all the other contradictions caught on videotape, contradiction is...
Marsha's seething at this point, I think.
Marsha.
I mean, he has just accused them of intentionally unethical behavior. saying that they just sat around during the break and planned all of this unethical behavior. This is a very, very strong accusation.
His own testimony about this blood vial, they'll then be able to argue it was just an innocent mistake and he's telling the truth. And that's how they began their rehabilitation of this witness, trying to exploit their own misconduct and their own misrepresentations. There is no question, giving them every benefit of the doubt, that was deliberate, it was intentional, and it was wrong. Now, this, I would submit to the court, is far worse than anything that occurred with respect to withholding tapes on Rosa Lopez. Because at least in that situation,
and Rosa Lopez was OJ Simpson's next door neighbor that they allegedly interviewed about what she heard on the night.
First of all, I don't think that the court made a finding of intentional misconduct, or there was a basis of the record that it was as intentional as this, because this is clearly deliberate. Not to turn it over before I had finished my cross-examination and then to try to use it to rehabilitate this witness's credibility. And it has a terrible effect. Because of the way that cross-examination ended and the jurors are looking at the documents. What they're trying to achieve here is the jury should forget all those other serious contradictions because of this point about page 4. Now, I'm assuming for the sake of argument that their claim is correct and this is in fact the original. Just assuming that. So this is
assuming is the original
misconduct. It is intentional. It is worse than the Rosa Lopez situation because at least in that instance, before cross-examining Rosa Lopez, the prosecution got an opportunity to listen to those tapes, to go out and interview witnesses, and the court extended them absolutely every opportunity so that they could not be damaged by this. In truth, there's no way to unring this bell. It's quite startling to me, Your Honor. At sidebar, when I raised this issue yesterday afternoon, Mr. Goldberg actually said, well, Mr. Scheck was trying to achieve a Perry Mason moment here. He was hoisted on his own petard, and he didn't say that, but words to that effect.
I love that phrase.
You know, what Mr.
I do too,
Scheck
especially
should have
on
done
Maritime
here
Monday.
is come to me and said, hey, what about that page 4? That, you know, it's obviously not an original, and I should have tried to straighten all that out with him. And then he cited the fact that they had told us that that other page from the lab book wasn't an original, and then at the last moment turned over the original from Mr. Fung's notebook. Now, that's fairly incredible. That shows that they seem to have no idea of the rules. Because the fact of the matter is that they're the ones that were representing to us all the way along the line, that we had a set of originals, and they were not taking proper care to make sure those representations were accurate all the way through the point of cross-examination, and then it got fatally worse. After they knew that we had been misled and sandbagged by their false representations, they then intentionally, willfully went out to try to rehabilitate Mr. Fung's credibility, which they are desperate to rehabilitate at this point on a critical issue, by intentionally trying to exploit their own false representations. And they knew it, and they did it. So, Your Honor, that's why I've drafted a discovery sanction.
Yeah, call for sanctions.
A discovery sanction instruction.
Discovery sanction instruction.
Destruction.
That mirrors, I think, in a totally factual way, almost word for word, the instruction that you crafted with respect to the Rosa Lopez issue. And I think that this situation is far worse, and that I frankly think that the only remedy that really would undo the damage here is preclusion. That, in truth, is the only remedy. However, I recognize that the court may very well be reluctant to grant that remedy. And so I've proposed this alternative instruction because it seems to me that you must instruct this jury in no uncertain terms about the misconduct of these prosecutors here, about what they did, because it is, and about their efforts to rehabilitate Mr. Fung's credibility improperly, intentionally, that this was a violation of the law. And my instruction mirrors precisely what you have previously issued.
Thank you, counsel. Mr. Gold.
All right, that's the cliffhanger. This is where we're going to leave it this week, where he's accusing the prosecution of very serious ethical violations and demanding sanctioning instructions to tell the jury they deliberately behaved improperly. And we'll see what the prosecution's response is next week.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
Jody says, thank you for a great stream. This is Jody's first time here watching this stream. So
welcome,
I hope
Jody.
you enjoyed it, Jody. You got to go
Thanks
back
for
and watch
being
what
here.
we've done. This is episode 30. You've got a lot of catching up to do. But we are so awesomely glad to have you here, and anyone else, if this is your first time here, stick around for more fun next week with my awesome, amazingly wonderful co-host, Chandler Remington.
Oh, thank you. I'm
You
so
can
happy to
find
be
her-
here as always.
You can find her here on YouTube
Yes, you
at
can.
Remy, R-E-M-Y, at REMY_legal.
That is
And
correct.
coincidentally, on Twitter at exactly the same ID, at REMY_legal.
That's me.
You're going to want to do that. She's allegedly going to put up some new content on her brand new fledgling channel this week.
I'm going to work very hard to put something together for you all. I know it's been anticipated. I've been talking about it. I've been a little bit waylaid by my academic plans, but I promise you I will get content up very soon. I'm hoping to get something up by this Sunday. Okay?
No pressure, no hype.
No pressure.
We'll see what the Vegas odds are on actually putting up new content this week.
I really, really want to get something up, and I have something in the works that I think you guys are really going to like.
See, I'm expecting new content about the time she gets rid of the tape on the wall. Just kidding. Everybody here, how did we turn out on our poll today? Our like and subscribe poll. There's 175 of you here now. We had 269 likes. This is our smallest stream of the week, but it's also our most comfortable and our cozy and our most loyal stream of the week. This and Maritime Monday. You guys are rabid for it. It's a small, tight-knit group, but you're also super awesome. Let's see how many subscribers we lost during this stream. We started at 976. We were 971. Great. We lost 5 more during this because YouTube. All right. Yeah, it's just this thing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And if you have, just make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going through this purge they've been going through for a month. I guess it's my time is up.
They do this.
I'm done with YouTube. I guess my flame is dying.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jeff.
me and the elves of Middle Earth, we have to go back to the Grey Havens and set sail for Valinor again because the lights have gone out.
Hush. That's so untrue.
Or just, keep it going. Whatever.
Well, I wanted to just say one little thing, if I may.
What's that?
Just thank you to everybody for joining us for OJ, because as I continue to watch this trial, I have had the privilege of being invited on to co-host. I've never seen this trial before, and I want to become an attorney. And there's something really incredible about watching this because everybody talks about how, OJ got away with it, and people don't really understand what happened during this trial. There were some serious prosecutorial errors that were really important and really grave, and the implications by BARRY SCHECK I think are really important to note. And whether he is bluffing and doing an incredible job or whether the prosecution actually engaged in misconduct, I think it's really important to understand the history of why OJ was acquitted, because the prosecution messed up. So no matter how you feel about this case, no matter whether you think he did it or he didn't do it, I'm learning and I'm really enjoying watching this. So I'm looking forward to next week and seeing what happens with this cliffhanger.
Well, there'll be many more cliffhangers in the future. And I guess randomly, if you care, also down in the link is my one piece of merch I have, the Legal Vices mug, which on the back, of course, it says, "This is a cocktail glass." because they didn't have cocktail glasses. But probably about the same time that Chandler uploads new videos or removes the tape from the wall, I'll be putting up new merch, sweaters, t-shirts, hoodies, and whatnot with
I want a t-shirt.
with the law racks. It'll have a law racks, and one of our amazing viewers has made the artwork for it
I
like
love it.
6 months ago, and I still haven't had time to put it actually on a t-shirt and design the t-shirt yet. But it will be happening soon. Hopefully we'll be able to get some time over the weekend to add some more merch. So you get the Enjoy Your Legal Vices Law Racks t-shirt and or hoodie. Digger 420 has merch ideas. See, I'm lazy. That's the thing. I've got my full-time job, and then I've got the YouTube thing here, and I just don't have time to do and design and plan and do. I guess it's not that I'm lazy. It's just that there's only a certain number of things that can be done at a time. But we will talk, Digger. I know you've seen your tweets and suggestions too. But anywho, let's see how our like and subscribe poll worked out today. Excuse me. I have some of this candy cane tea. It is so good. It just tastes like melted candy cane. It's so good. I know you subscribed and liked the stream. Why? 16% of you said fung me, but this is great. 22% of you said it's just so damn much fun. Oh, I said darn, sorry. It's just so darn much fun. 26% of you said it grows on you like a fungus, and 37% of you said it's funging fantastic. That's our like and subscribe poll for the day. And apparently it was the like and unsubscribe poll today, but whatever. We'll work through this somehow. The worm will turn at some point.
Jeff, you obviously deserve 50K, 100K. Come on, people, get the word out.
It's just this thing that YouTube does, because we doing the Zachariah Anderson trial, and then the other the cop that deleted the woman of negotiable affections in the backseat of his car trial. There was a huge upspike in subscribers. And for some reason, YouTube just goes, oh, never mind. There must be something wrong here. Let's just randomly take away some. See, I've been lucky. I've only lost about 50 subscribers over the last month. Those that have like higher numbers, they get exponentially more people. I mean, you can have people that will lose 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers over the course of a week just because YouTube just goes, we just want to take them out.
Ouch,
There's
that
no
must
reason
be painful.
And I get people telling me all the time that they've been unsubscribed unilaterally by YouTube 8, 9, 10 times.
Oh, I've had people unsubscribe from my channel as well, which is it affects everybody.
Yeah, and that's why I just say if you are subscribed or you think you're subscribed, just always double check to make sure you still are subscribed whenever you visit anybody's channel. Not just me, anybody that you subscribe to on YouTube, because YouTube just randomly nukes people. Anyway, that's enough of that little story. But we'll move up again. But coming up, is it 1 week from today? No, it's next Tuesday. Next Tuesday marks my 1-year anniversary on YouTube.
Oh wow, that's fabulous.
Mac Turner just looked up my sub count. Thought I'd have as many as good luck. I wish I had 100 grand. That'd be great if I had 100,000 subscribers. But
you should
just a lonely 36,000 plus minus.
Look, just one more dead hooker trial and you'll get there.
Exactly. Next Tuesday is my 1-year anniversary. We won't make a big that was the first video I uploaded was 1 year ago on Tuesday. But we're not going to make a big deal out of that. Friday the 12th, however, Friday the 12th of May will be the 1-year celebratory Fuck It Friday stream, where we'll have everybody, and I want to kind of do that throughout the month of May, have people that sort of help me on this journey on one-on-one to talk to them for a couple of hours. A long list of people. I'm going to start reaching out and arranging things. So that'll be happening next, like I said, not next Friday. Next Friday I'll be in Japan with Meme Copium, just kind of living it up and drinking it up and visiting cat girl cafes and whatnot. Just because you have to. But Friday the 12th will be the 1-year anniversary Griftathon extravaganza, boozapalooza, etc., etc., etc. So that's one we're not going to want to miss. Friday the 12th. Put it on your calendar. I'm not sure if it'll be Friday morning U.S. time or Friday night U.S. time. We'll just have to see how that goes. But mark that on your calendar.
That's gonna
It
be a
should be
lot of
fun.
fun. It'll be
It
great.
should be. It should be the 1 year anniversary. Should be fun, or it'll just like suck. But who knows? I'll be drunk, so I don't care.
That's the spirit.
All right. Oh, no, like Mac Turner's like, you still congrats. That's not bad for a year. No, that is ridiculously good for a year.
Yeah, I think
36,000
so.
subscribers in a year is ridiculously good by YouTube standards. And I'm grateful to everybody in the chat. The Legal Vices Vice Squad is the greatest chat ever. I have the most amazing people. And you
totally
guys
agree.
are so freaking awesome. And I have great friends like Chandler and everybody else that comes on the stream and the people. I mean, seriously, you guys are awesome. We'll get all emotional and whatnot on the 12th. But for now, just wanted to say thanks to the mods, all of our mods. We had a large number of mods here today. That's a good thing. It might be because I'm modding lots of people. As a matter of fact, I think just for the heck of it, I think we're gonna mod a couple of other people right now. Why not? Because I'm in a good mood.
Do it.
Jess, Waifu Kron, you are now a mod. Congratulations. Scrolling on through here. Where the other person? There's the other person I was thinking of modding. Joe Choi, congratulations. You are also a mod. You're the two new mods today. Congratulations. More to come in the future as I feel generous. So stand by for mods. There you go. Anyway, mods, old and new, thank you so much. Chat, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for doing things. Steve Gosney, thank you so much for popping in and giving us proof of life. We'll see you soon. Thank you to everyone that will possibly be subscribing in the near future. Hopefully.
Definitely.
Wait, it's Joe Liebgott's birthday? It is? Huh. Hey, happy birthday, Joe. Happy birthday, Joe. Happy birthday, Joe. I'm scrolling up here and I don't see you anywhere. I don't see your last chat. Huh. All right. Well, everybody remind me next time and we'll give him a mod for a birthday present. Yeah, we'll have to do that next time because I just don't see it popping up there. All righty. We will do that. Happy birthday to you, Jay Liebgott. We will bless you with mod powers next time. Seriously, thank you, Chandler, as always, for being here. Couldn't do it without you. It's awesome to have a co-host for these things. It's super awesome. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and whatever you do, don't forget to enjoy your legal vices. Both dogs have now officially left the building for the sofa. Even they know it's time to shut down. Oh, here comes Strawberry again. Strawberry getting her encore performance. What's up, Straubs? Dog butt.
Just a little butt wiggle.
There you go. Say goodnight, Strawberry.
Good night, Strawberry.
All right, there we go. Bye, everyone. Thanks. Hit the like and subscribe on your way out. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, here. Okay, I guess I should say. I know I've said goodbye like 5 times already. I'm the worst. This is how I do on the telephone too. It's like that high school. You hang up. No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. I do that all the time.
You're no good at goodbyes.
Yeah, it sucks. I just want to stay here and talk to you guys forever because you're so awesome, but I can't. Tomorrow we have a great confluence of events happening. We're right now in the middle of the 1 year anniversary of the Johnny Depp trial, which launched my YouTube career. And we just did Judge Alex Manning. We did some of her courtroom appearance the other day. She's my favorite streaming judge, and there'll be more Judge Manning in the future. But tomorrow at some point I have to go out tomorrow night. I don't know what time I get home, but whenever I get home, assuming I am still able to do a stream when I get home, we will do something. So I'm not posting it yet. I'm not posting the time, but it'll be at some point Friday morning your time, Friday night my time. A new and wonderful incident that I found the other day, and let me show you the secret hidden thumbnail at this point. Where are we? The secret hidden thumbnail, kind of give you a little bit of a taste of what's coming up tomorrow.
Oh, this is
at some
intriguing.
point. As soon as I can find it. Where are we here? Should be here. Why isn't it here? Ah, there it is. All right, got to open this. Then we got to share the window. This is the preview for tomorrow's stream, whatever time it may happen. Camille Vasquez, Judge Manning, and a Sacramento Kings basketball player.
Oh, yes. I'm very interested in that.
What could this possibly be? It's a great confluence of events tomorrow. Camille Vasquez and Judge Manning.
Well, whatever it is, I'm excited for it. I love Camille Vasquez. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, so stand by for news tomorrow. The overlapping world of Camille Vasquez, Judge Alex Manning, and a Sacramento Kings basketball player. We'll see you tomorrow, guys, for that at some point. Until then, take care. Chandler, you're super awesome. Give everybody a goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. I'll see you next week.
All right, and I'll see you tomorrow. Whatever you do, make sure that you enjoy your legal vices. Lorax, peace out.